Ladies and gentlemen, we're here live, 5 pounds of Gunt. WrestleMania edition, baby! Woo! WrestleMania week!
Woo!
It's here! We made it, bitches!
The big grind!
The big grind is over. It's all over. We're here at last. WrestleMania is here, boys. We've made it to the big show. The show of all shows. A special intro.
Oh yeah, that was something, Gahoole. That was really magical.
You
That's the magical intro this week.
You weren't even watching it.
Oh, bro, I was definitely watching it. There was some retro aesthetic to it there. I don't know.
We're here. We're here. We're live for WrestleMania 35. WrestleMania week, bitches. What do you think? We've been watching the whole stuff. I've watched I did not watch the Hall of Fame, but I've watched everything else. PPP watched the Hall of Fame as well as everything else. Oh, he disconnected. He's back. We're off to a hot start here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what an amazing start it's been. We're having technical issues already. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, to talk about all the shows this week. I've been watching all the shows except for like the Acid Cup, whatever the fuck the Acid Cup is.
Yeah, I fucking did not watch the Acid Cup.
Acid Cup.
Fucking GCW's fucking shits, man.
No, they have like this $140 package to just watch a bunch of garbage.
The collective this year was... No, fuck, the collective this year was garbage. Yeah, it absolutely was. It's fucked.
I ordered the Bloodsport show, so we'll talk about the Bloodsport show. I watched NXT The Takeovers this week. I watched the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I watched SmackDown. I watched AEW.
You even watched AEW? Holy fuck. I mean, I did too. The only thing I missed was Hall of Fame, but I watched everything else. I guess I have a spring break tonight too.
Oh, how could you have missed the Hall of Fame, buddy? It was pretty fucking piss poor, this Hall of Fame. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'll just cover it quickly. The Hall of Fame this year was like 3.5 hours long, and like an hour and a half of it at least was commercials and like backstage segments with like other like modern day wrestlers dressed in their finest garb giving their shitty take about whatever wrestler. A lot of the speeches were very short and there was nobody there to hear them, so they're giving these speeches to fucking nobody. JBL's speech was fucking good. I liked JBL's speech a lot. I like Kane's speech a lot. Kane had a good video package. Probably heard about Kane's video package. That's the big highlight. Rob Van Dam's speech was fucking shit. Rob Van Dam's speech was fucking bad. I don't know what the fuck. Like, Rob, I think, was high off his ass. He was fucking stoned or something. He's like, dude, man, the spiritual energies, dude, they've aligned with my chakras, man. It was just some rambling bullshit from Rob. It felt like it was going on for a fucking eternity. What's his name? Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, Ozzy didn't even, I don't think, know what was going on. Like, Ozzy looked like drugged out of his mind. He sent in a video that wasn't even a minute long. He was like, yeah, so it's Ozzy here. I don't really deserve this award, and I'm not really sure where I am. But thank you, Vince McMahon, and thank you, Hunter. And that was like the whole thing. From Ozzy Osbourne. Shatner, actually, his was a little bit longer than that, and the Shatner induction was pretty funny. They were showing the spoken word William Shatner entrance theme songs and stuff like that.
Well, he was at fucking whatever, I think it was like Royal Rumble or Survivor Series at one point. Like, he did a thing with Bret Hart. Remember that? Yeah. I watched his speech. He's a pretty sincere guy. It's hard to knock Shatner ever. You know. Yeah.
So it seemed like he was at least getting something out of it. But the Ozzy Osbourne one was pretty fucking cheap.
Yep.
The Bella Twins speech, it was like, what the fuck? Like, why are they being inducted into the Hall of Fame? And like, they had all the other girls like give interviews where they very clearly resented the Bellas, but they're saying like all these nice things about the Bellas. But
yeah,
like it was like they were like back talk, you know what I mean? Like it was like catty and shit.
I do. It's typical women behavior, actually. It's typical female behavior. Is what
typical femoid behavior. Yeah. Hall of Fame this year, it was a fucking British Bulldogs induction. I thought was kind of boring. I don't know. I'm glad. I guess he got in. Whatever. A lot of people care about British Bulldog. I really don't. But good for them. Good for the family, I suppose.
He had a good run.
Jushin Thunder Liger. Did you see his induction?
Yeah, he just had a video thing. He just came in. I didn't get to watch any of the video patch. I just saw his speech.
Very grateful. Oh, thank you. I got to like
the whole arigato Vinto-san.
Yeah, arigato Vinto-san. Arigato, so arigato. Mucho arigato, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Mucho arigato. Mr. Roboto was this fucking Jushin Thunder Liger character. So that was the Hall of Fame. It was pretty much a fucking waste of time. The NWO production was kind of cool.
Oh, he's cutting out again. Listen, this is not on my end. I just want everyone to know this is PPP's end this time. This is not my fault.
The NWO induction was pretty good. I was saying, Hogan gave a good speech. He was fired up. He was saying he should face the winner of the Edge and Roman Reigns and Bryan.
Yes.
He's saying that he should face the winner that on that night after the match. He should go over, brother. And then he's like, but that's just wishful thinking, brother.
I wish that's what they were thinking.
Genius stuff from Hogan. Scott Hall looked like the total fucking cracked out alcoholic. Scott Hall is looking pretty rough these days. Big sexy Kevin Nash there is really sexy and shit. He was tall and he spoke well. So that was the NWO induction. That was the Hall of Fame. There's not much to say about it. It was fucking pretty boring stuff there.
Well, that was Tuesday night. And the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I'm not sad that I missed it because I was doing other stuff that day. I had things to do, so I could not watch the Hall of Fame, unfortunately. But Wednesday night, we had AEW and the first night of NXT TakeOver. Now, I watched all of NXT TakeOver, but the women's main event. I did not watch that because I hate women. So I did not watch that.
Well, I fucking watched the TakeOver until I think the women's main event. The tag match took a lot out of my soul. It was pretty boring. There were vanilla midgets that I couldn't discern from one another flipping around, and it just started sucking the soul from my body after I was worn out by the Walter match. By the time Io Shirai started walking out, I was completely fucking passed out of sleep, and I never recovered. So you see, TakeOver put me to sleep both nights in a row. And I'm trying to give the shows a positive review, but it's pretty bad when you get put to sleep 2 nights in a row by the wrestling main event of both shows. You go to fucking sleep. That's not a good sign.
Well, it's just bad design in the shows because clearly the Walter match was the best match. Probably it's going to be the best match of the whole weekend from how things are shaping up, that Walter Ciampa match. And, having that go on, in the middle of the show and, why the fuck do I want to watch the rest of this crap now? This spotty indie flip shit. Which some people are saying was better than the Walter match. I've seen that online. People are saying that. And I can't believe these fucking retards believe this. Can you fucking...
Anyway.
And then, the second night, you put this Adam Cole Kyle O'Reilly match on last. And, this thing just goes forever. 40 minutes. Oh, he's back. He's back. This Kyle O'Reilly Adam Cole match goes 40 fucking minutes. It's so long and it's not that good. I don't want to say it was bad. It was just so fucking ungodly long and there was some fun spots, but it's fuck me. Why is the title match not on less? Why is the title match not the main match? Why did you do the title match for the show that you really want to watch, the one match? Why do you not put that one on last? But this one where the title match actually probably shouldn't be more, why is that one not on last? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
It was boring as fuck. I'll go through the fucking night one of the fucking TakeOver. There was Pete Dunne versus Kushida. The match was okay. You know, they had some good back and forth technical wrestling. I like Pete Dunne. You know, Kushida, I don't understand this gimmick. I guess he's Marty McFly. What the fuck?
It's been his gimmick since fucking New Japan. He has not changed his gimmick. This is not an NXT invention. This has been his gimmick for fucking years, and I don't ever get it.
Does he have brain damage?
He just likes Back to the Future. That's his gimmick. The thing is, though, he's like a professional.
It's like, is it brain damage? Like, who the fuck is okaying this? Like, is Vince Hunter like?
Gato was okaying this. Like, this is before. This is not a WWE invention. This is not a WWE machination. This is just something Kushida does. This is his thing.
But so he dresses up like Marty McFly, but like it's retarded.
It is.
Like, what is up with these Asians dressing this way? Like, what was it? Emi Sakurai dressing like Freddie Mercury? That was even more fucking bizarre.
That one doesn't make any sense. Well, and then fucking this Kushida thing's been going on for years, and it's literally never made sense once. It's just the thing is his backstory is that he's like an MMA guy who went into wrestling, you know, and like he's got like, you know, a family thing. He's like a white meat baby face, but he just likes Back to the Future, so his entire gimmick is based around Back to the Future because he likes it. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. One thing about Dunn is that he's always working the fingers, but the finish of the match never involves the fingers. Like, he doesn't have a finisher.
Doesn't use an arm bar or like a wrist lock, you know, like a wrist lock. You know, put him in like say like the fucking I don't know, the chicken wing. Put him in the crossface chicken wing. That uses the fingers. You know, that stretches him out. You know, it's more of a choke, but it's kind of a wrist lock. You know, why not use that? But he's a pussy. He's afraid.
Match went 10 minutes. It was pretty decent. People tried to say it should get 20 minutes. I don't think it should get 20 minutes. I think it was fine as it was.
If there's one thing both these takeover shows saw was that less equals more. In this era of fucking like shows, we don't need long matches. We can have nice, good 10 to 12 minute matches, please.
Oh fuck, like 45 minutes, like the main event for night 2. But then we had the Gauntlet Eliminator match: Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Scott versus Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. I was just like mortified by this match because like I wanted Lumis to win. I thought Lumis was by far the best look. You know, like you look at him for 2 seconds, you get right away what he is. You know, then I thought I wanted like LA Knight to win then if he wasn't gonna win. That didn't happen. And it was like Cameron Grimes didn't fucking win either. It went to Bronson Reed.
I like Cameron Grimes' gimmick a lot, actually. He's good. He's got a good gimmick going. Like, I like he immediately comes in. He immediately comes in the match, does his little thing, and then he pays Scott. He pays, like, Swerve Scott, like, a full stack of real $100 bills and hands it to them and says, "Work for me today, black man. I'm going to purchase a slave today, sir, at this fine gentleman's market." That's a good gimmick. It was goofy, but it's like...
His gimmick is that he got rich from GameStop. This is the gimmick, which is kind of fucking retarded.
But it's a shoot. It's not a gimmick. It's a shoot. He actually made like $1 million off the GameStop shit. It's like not a gimmick. It's a shoot, brother. Speaking of shoot,
brother.
Speaking of shoots, did you see the commercials today for the WWE NFTs of the Undertaker?
Yeah, like the Undertaker NFTs. Like what a scam! Like, really. What we're doing now, we're selling NFTs of Undertaker.
No, and people made fun of Jeff Jarrett for his Global Force Gold. This is worse than the Global Force Gold campaign. Because at least you got real gold. Real. Yeah.
At least you got some physical product. Even if it was like a cheap amount of gold, it was gold plated. At least there was some gold. You know,
it's like the bronze tier NFT of the Undertaker. Ooh, look at me pose.
Tier NFC. Oh man, how much do you think it's gonna go for?
Oh, $20.
Watch it go for like $1 million. Some Indian fucking or Arab who loves the Undertaker is gonna pay $1 million for it.
Well, like, why does this matter? Is it like it's just like trading cards? It's like Pokemon cards, but like digital. It's like not even real. It's so dumb.
Well, the card collectors say they love it because they don't even have to go out to the store to get the cards.
You're right. You're absolutely 100%.
No, that's what some guy actually said in an interview. It's like, are you fucking retarded? Like, holy shit. So I don't have to store them anymore.
oh, their stories are all digital. It's all digital. It sounds like gotcha bullshit. It's gotchas. It's gotcha gaming in real life, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I thought LA Knight. I think LA Knight's been like cut at the knees in NXT. He just like seems like he sucks now. Like Eli Drake was cool, but this thing sucks. And I don't know. Bronson Reed's a big fat guy, so I kind of like that he won. He's kind of good. He can do some good moves, and he's pretty athletic. But then he lost in the second night, so it's fucking retarded.
Well, that's why I thought it was retarded, because, okay, so we're going to put Bronson Reed over in this match over all these other guys. I see something in him, I guess. And then he loses to fucking Johnny Gargano, who doesn't need any wins ever, I don't think. He's got a huge run in NXT, and he has no future on the main roster. So why he isn't putting over a guy who might have a future in the main roster as Otis's tag team partner, I don't know.
Well, see, that's the paradox of NXT, is that when you're about to go to the main roster, you actually are the one who's supposed to lose because you're leaving the territory, potentially. So probably Bronson Reed's going to leave. And you know what? Nobody who watches main roster watches NXT that often, so it doesn't even hurt Bronson Reed when he goes up there. He can just go up and squash some dudes and he'll be fine. You know?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't even really fucking matter. None of this shit really matters. Like, I think the main reason why I don't watch NXT is once you realize that it just doesn't matter, that nothing that happens on NXT affects the main roster in any way, that guys who get like a 3-year build in NXT as a main eventer come in and are like a dancing jobber in 2 weeks on the main roster. I mean, nobody gives a fuck then. So, I don't know. It's like, how many success projects came out of NXT? Like, most of the people that were they successfully brought in just went straight to the main roster. But Roman didn't even go through NXT. He went through FCW.
He was in NXT.
He was on like the 2015 edition of NXT. Like, when did NXT start as a show?
It was like 20. I forget. It was like 2014. But he was on with the first class. He didn't do much.
He was at the Survivor Series in 2012 as the part of the Shield, right? Is when he debuted, right?
So Roman Reigns makes his NXT debut October 31st, 2012. So he had a very short run in NXT, but he was there.
I mean, he was there for 2 weeks, for fuck's sake. I don't know. I don't consider Roman Reigns an NXT project. I think that's fucking... I mean, even to say that Seth was like an NXT project, I think is fucking a little bit... I mean, at least he was in some matches for the title, wasn't he?
He won the title. He was the first champion, I believe. I would say Seth was. I'd say Kevin Owens is NXT, kind of an NXT guy. I guess I don't know who else is on the main roster that was. I guess
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn went through.
Who I believe is having the best build to Mania.
Nakamura went through at NXT. Nakamura did.
But I would consider him a main roster success. Like, the guys who are the main roster success, like, shit, I think technically Strowman was in NXT for a while. He was there, but a lot of these guys just got trained in NXT. They went over in NXT and then transitioned to the main event on the main roster. I guess Samoa Joe, but Samoa Joe's different.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't.
Samoa Joe had a pretty actually long NXT run, but it was almost a year for like back then. That was a pretty long run, but he also was known way before then. He was like doing like the #1 pay-per-view by outside of WWE for like a decade.
Yeah, and I think his main roster run was quite short. You know, it was he had that match with Lesnar. It was his one and only real big thing that he did, right?
Yeah, basically.
What else did he do? That's a shame. Like, it just seems to me like the main reason NXT, I think, lost to AEW was just that people are like, this doesn't matter, you know? And like the quality went down. Like, the quality went down as well. It wasn't just that you knew that these guys were all like lambs to the slaughter when they went to the main roster. And you have people like you praying to stay in NXT. Please let this guy stay in NXT. But also, like, the quality of the people they brought in went down.
Right, because they already pillaged all the indies. All the indies are dead, and NXT's quality came from stealing guys from the indies in New Japan, frankly. I mean, it did. And the problem is with the NXT, the guys they've kept have overstayed their welcome now. Like Ciampa and Gargano and Adam Cole, even in the Undisputed Era. Like, all of these guys have been in there for so long, it just feels like, why are you still here? I get that's not developmental territory anymore, but still, it's like, at some point the whole gimmick of the show is that it's got fresh faces all the time. There's not like regular people. It's like you have new gimmicks come in, get over, and then go up.
Well, is it not like it's supposed to be developmental, right? Like that's the whole reason it exists.
Yeah.
So this new concept they have where this isn't developmental. You can have your whole career in NXT. Like Finn Balor is going to have like his whole career in NXT now, and that's acceptable. I don't know how that's really acceptable for Finn Balor, who was invested in as the first Universal Champion, to now be fucking like a lifer on NXT. Like guys going back down to NXT or like a Gargano or a Cole, who I don't know if they'll ever go to the main roster. They're like a lifer. Mm-hmm. It's just some weird shit. Like it should be seen as a transition to seasoned guys who are green.
Well, the problem is when they went head to head with AEW, the goal was this last entire year was to kill numbers from them, and for that you need to get star power and guys that people will want to watch on your show. You need to keep them on your show. And the idea was, well, we need to keep our guys for as long as possible to get our programs over. But the problem is that when the longer they keep these guys, the less they can do with them. Because they don't know how to book these guys long term. They can only book them in the short term, get their acts over, get them up high, and then send them off to Vince for him to ruin them. Which is fine. I mean, it was working a pretty good system so far, but then, fuck, I mean, also when you book 2 hours a week instead of 1, you're doing live, you're not booking like months in advance. You're not booking towards takeovers anymore, you're booking towards TV. Lots of shit just went wrong this last year with NXT, and it's culminating in what I always consider TakeOver used to be like the best show of the weekend, always, pretty consistently, across the board, like fucking for like the last 4 or 5 years.
It's been like 4 or 5 years where it's been okay. TakeOver crushes WrestleMania. We're all disappointed going into Mania. We know it's not going to be as good as TakeOver. This year, I think WrestleMania might beat the TakeOver.
Well, there wasn't even a TakeOver last year, but yeah, Mania. Fuck, I even remember the best take. I mean, like fucking yeah, for like since I think 2016, I think TakeOver has been better than WrestleMania consistently. So it's been 5 years, and this is the year. It's like fuck it, they didn't do a good job this year. It was spread out. It didn't need to be 2 nights really. They should have cut a ton of shit, you know. Which honestly, WrestleMania should start cutting some shit too. Looking at this card, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. I don't know. Bronson Reed winning this match, I didn't mind. But I think that, there were 2 or 3 other guys in that match that I would have preferred. But whatever.
Me too. And then after that, this is good. This is the match. It's probably, even though NXT won't get show of the weekend, they're going to still have match of the weekend. Because this is Walter versus Ciampa, which was fucking awesome. This was a fucking great classic style match. The obvious spot is Walter chopping the fucking table in fucking half.
Yeah.
With his big fucking
the table in half.
Like chops it. It wasn't even like a gimmick table. I think this top thing is like just a piece of wood that they have there. So he's like fucking karate chops this thing in half. It explodes everywhere. And then he's selling his hand the rest of the match, so he can't. The only reason he didn't kill Ciampa.
Yeah, he was really selling the hand. Like he had to use the other hand for his chops throughout the match.
And they weren't really effective. And then, the finish of the match is just, he gets him a fucking sleeper suplex. He gives him a couple power bombs, a sleeper suplex, and, I mean, Ciampa did some good, crazy stuff, but, I mean, there wasn't anything, super insane in this match. There wasn't, super, insane spots in terms of, physicality or technicality, but it was just really well worked and really awesome. And the finish of the match was just him chopping him in half with his bad hand. He just fucking killed the guy, and that was enough to keep him down.
Yeah, hello?
You there? Oh, he cut out again. Oh, you can see me twice. Look at that. Again, this is not me this night. I'm doing my best. Oh, he's back.
All right, I should be back here. Yeah, the Walter match, I think Walter has a special presence to him, a special aura when he comes out.
Oh.
The music gets...
PP just
like the presentation of him.
I think
he's a bigger guy. He's like 290 or so. I thought Ciampa, honestly, was maybe a bit too small in there with him at 205 pounds. And also, my biggest criticism of the Dragunov match, which I watched this week. Mm-hmm. This week, I watched Walter and Dragunov from the 26th of October, was that Dragunov, I felt, was a little bit too small as well to be in there with Walter. and go this competitive with him. The match was very excellent all the way through. Excellent selling from both men, except for one instance I'll get into. But they fucking did really well, marks up on the fucking chest, on the back of the neck, working really stiff. Excellent, believable offense all throughout. Near falls were good. But the one spot that was just shit was the 20 clothesline spot. It was too many clotheslines. I can see 5, I can see 10, but it went to like 20, like what the fuck? How many clotheslines does Ciampa need to hit him with? He doesn't go down on any of them. Kind of made Walter look like a beast that he doesn't go down from them, but it was just too many clotheslines. I'm sorry. In such a match that was as grounded as this match was, that was a little bit silly, and I wish it wasn't in there. But other than that,
I don't remember that spot. I don't remember it.
I do, because it pissed me off really bad. Was it
during the commercial break?
Maybe it was during a commercial break.
I didn't just fucking. They cut away from the match, and I saw him doing clotheslines, and they cut back, and then he was. I forget what Ciampa was doing. That must have been during a commercial break. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking around here. I don't remember that spot. I swear to fucking God, I'm not fucking with you here. I'm pretty sure they did that during a commercial break. Because I was watching on USA. I wasn't watching on Peacock.
I was watching on Peacock. So I saw it, and that was kind of a fucking silly spot.
That sounds retarded. It sounds fucking awful.
It was genuinely, like, if you counted it, probably like 25 clotheslines. Like, it was beyond like 15 even. Like, it was definitely 20, if not more. Okay. Clotheslines in a row. And the guy didn't go off his feet. It was whatever. It just fucked up the match a bit, and
I'm not trying to fucking be weird. I seriously did not see that. So I was like, you're right. I'm sure you're right. I just didn't I didn't get to see that part of the match.
Yeah, but everything else I thought was good. The finish was fucking excellent finishing sequence.
Yeah.
But just a little bit, maybe that was during a commercial break or whatever. Now, I heard the criticism from the Wrestling Jesus that Walter is a faggot because of the boots that he wears with his socks, that he looks like AJ Lee, and that therefore he's a fag and he'll never be taken seriously. What say you, Gahul, about it, that he's wearing the AJ Lee boots and he's a fag?
I didn't notice the boots. I thought his boots looked cool because they were so fucking high. He looked like a fucking old German wrestler from like the 50s. That's like an old style wrestling boot, right? We're all old wrestlers faggots now. Is that the gimmick? Is that the what?
Yeah, that's what he was going with. I thought it was a bit try hard to shit on NXT there. He's like, this match is terrible because Walter is a faggot there. Wow. And he was like, it was based that McIntyre squashed him at Survivor Series.
I mean, I can understand that sentiment, but frankly, I just don't see it. I'll
plug it in here. Oh shit! Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Hold. Let's switch servers. I'm gonna switch servers to US Central because we were on East.
Yeah.
Hey, we were on East server. We were on US East server for this fucking call this entire time. That's why I switched over to Central. We're just closer to where we actually are. So this should be better now.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's partly my fucking microphone is fucked up. Like, it's not fitting into the jack right. I bent the fucking jack, and like it's fucking popping out, and I can't fucking hear you. So fuck. But I'll pop it in here because I don't know. Like, there's not a whole lot to talk about. There was the NXT UK show. I don't know if you saw it.
Skip that shit.
I watched NXT UK Prelude. There was a match on it. It was Walter against Rampage Brown.
Okay.
This was also a pretty good match from Walter.
Mm.
It wasn't as exciting as the match with Ciampa at all, really, but it was still worked really stiff, and I liked the size of Rampage Brown in there with him. He was a fucking big boy. Walter fucking looked really good in the match. He fucking had great offense. It was a big weekend for me for Walter because I saw this match with Rampage Brown. I saw the match with Ciampa, and I saw the Dragunov match. And I'm pretty much convinced at this point that he needs to go up to the main roster, and they need to push this guy as a star, because I think that he works the best, most believable offense on the show of anyone I've seen in WWE so far. And like, there's so many matchups they can put him in there with. I'd love to see him in there with Lashley. I'd love to see him in there with Lesnar. I'd love to see him in there with Cesaro. Even with like a Big E or an Apollo Crews, some of these other big guys that they have, guys like AJ Styles, he could have a great match with Daniel Bryan. He could have a great match with Roman Reigns. He could have a great match with Samoa Joe if they let him wrestle Joe. And I just don't understand why there aren't more wrestlers in WWE that are working this more stiff, more minimalistic style, because with him, everything is very simple, but it looks good. He's like mastered what he does, which are these chops, the big boots, the power bombs, the stiff forearms. He does a splash as well. He does do a high spot with that splash. It looks good.
Yeah, but it's super safe and it's super easy to see, but it's also really replicatable, and it's also always exciting because he's great at it. He's like the fucking best. He has the best chops. He has the best power bombs. He's got the best splash. He's got the best ring work. He's got the best neck twist, These are really simple things, but he's the best at them. And because he's the best at all of these things, he's fucking awesome. Not to mention, he's got a fucking whole stable with him. Imperium's a good unit. I mean, fucking Ring Conf is a cooler name, but essentially Imperium is Ring Conf. It's a great unit. It's comprised of a lot of guys who can do high spots for him in tag matches. So there's no reason he can't be up there facing Roman Reigns with Jey Uso.
And I like his music. I like his entrance when it comes out. It's fucking good.
It's fucking classical music, so it's super easy, but it's also like iconic. And you see him, the fucking shadowy. He looks huge. He looks menacing. He looks like a fucking giant. He's about to kill someone. He's the whole total package. The problem is, and the thing is, he can't cut he does okay promos. He's German, which does work better than Japanese because it makes you sound angry and masculine, because German's a masculine language.
So in the Dragunov match, they're screaming back and forth at each other in German.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have to kill you. He's saying to him in German. He's like, you'll never be able to do it. And they're yelling back and forth in German. It's fucking good. So in the ring, he's good. They could find him like a mouthpiece, like just put him with Heyman, and the problem is fucking solved.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't even need a mouthpiece because he's got his Imperium, and guess what? Guys in that stable can talk. They can cut promos, so he can just be the master of the stable, and those can be the talkers. He can just be essentially the heavy and stand behind them and just say nothing and beat people up. That could be a great.
Well, yeah, they don't. Not everybody needs to be The Rock. Do you know what I mean? And not everybody has to have the super charismatic style promos. Like, as long as they're a good character, like, I think as soon as you see him, you understand what he is. Like, he's a big, strong, like old school type wrestler. Well, you see him, you understand what he is, right?
I don't know if you've ever heard Bruno Sammartino cut a promo. He's an okay, but he's not an exceptional promo. But his presence and his poise in the ring is what got him over. Like, he could be a modern day Bruno Sammartino. That's the biggest comparison. Bruno was fucking Italian, so he could barely cut a promo. There's a lot of great opportunity, but it's not going to happen because he likes living in Germany, and he's not going to move to America to commit to working a full-time WWE schedule.
Is it that, or is it that he's worried about what his booking would be on the main roster, and he uses this as a cope to stay in NXT UK and not have his mystique ruined? I don't know. But I'd hope that Vince fucking, stops having a mental malfunction and pays this guy what it takes and gives him the booking to put a rocket on this guy's ass. I think he can be a great fucking asset for the company. He can at least have a year run as a champion, as WWE champion, easily. There's so many opponents for him.
He should be a champion for a long fucking time. I mean, he's been UK champion for 2 years plus. He's the longest running champ. That's what they said.
700 days, 750 days.
It's an insane amount of time to be a champion.
It gives him a certain mystique to him. I mean, maybe have him hold that belt for another year and then have him just win the Royal Rumble and challenge at WrestleMania with the belt, having been undefeated for 3 years, and just hotshot him straight to the fucking main event against maybe a Lesnar who would have the belt at that time, and just have him fucking have a classic with Lesnar, 10, maybe 15 minutes, just fucking brutal. I'd like to see, because the only thing about these Walter matches for me is that they're going on too long. I feel like his offense should be put over even more as being so devastating. But yeah. I guess on UK, he probably gets a bunch of squashes. It's just that I've seen these matches where there's a lot of near falls. It's the main event. They're going back and forth. It's just, like, for me, almost nobody should really be getting offense on this guy.
Well, like, I think
he should just be crushing.
A Bronson Reed, like a big heavyweight guy. I mean, the one thing I like about the Ciampa match is that Walter wasn't necessarily selling for Ciampa. He just sold his own pain. Like, the main reason he was in pain that whole match, the main reason he was able to, like, kill him right away is because he chopped that table. He hurt himself, which was a smart move. It was actually excellent design on that match, which I thought was so great. It's like, yeah, Walter should have just killed this guy, but he hurt himself by chopping a table in half and getting fucking splinters all over his hand.
And it was booked really good, and Ciampa did have the intensity to make up for his lack of size. And so did Dragunov.
I mean, Ciampa and Dragunov do have great physiques. Like, that's a good part. Yeah. I mean, like, they're small, but they're jacked. Both of them are.
Yeah. And so it was fine. These are very small complaints I have about it. But I really like this guy, and so far he's been the standout of the whole weekend for me, based on his UK Prelude match, which also had a lot of back and forth near falls, was also a really good match. Not quite as good as the Ciampa match. Mm-hmm. But, it was with a bigger guy. It was maybe a bit more believable, that sort of thing. And then we had, it went from, like, this amazing match between Walter and Ciampa, where, for me, I was done with the show. I thought this was the perfect closeout for the show.
This is a main event match. This is a fucking main event match straight into an X Division tag match, which should have opened the show. Really. Like, this is like a fucking, like, show opener, like, high spot, no psychology, nothing, And
I'm sorry, like, I don't know who any of these people are, because I don't watch NXT on a regular basis.
I know
that's partly my fault, but
I know Zach Gibson from the UK Cup, and he was the one of the main breakout stars of 5-star Ponzi scheme wrestling in the UK. You ever watch 5-star wrestling? They fucking, like, it's a fucking Ponzi scheme. They booked out, like, tons of arenas, and they hired, like, Rey Mysterio and fucking Jake Hager to come out, and they, like, sold, like, 10 tickets. It was a fucking disaster. Complete travesty. But he was like a breakout star from that promotion, and then the only person I know is Zach Gibson. Everyone else is like a fucking nobody here. I don't get any of these people.
Yeah, it was just strange. Young grizzled veterans as a name is a little bit weird too, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, the match was just like, it just was boring to me. Just a lot of, like, just very same, like, flippy. Like, technically, I guess people would call it a good match because there's a lot of high spots, a lot of action to it. But I was just I was bored because I was, like, I had all the energy taken out of me from the Walter match. This match just was fucking nearly put me into like a fucking coma.
Because there was no psychology. Like, this is what, like, this was a TNA X Division tag match, which in TNA would open the show, and then the main event would close the show. They would never put the X Division tag match after the main event, That'd be ridiculous, because that would just ruin the tag match, because, like, you're just high off that great main event, But...
And then it goes into fucking Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez, which I didn't see.
Listen, I don't mind Io Shirai. I think she's one of the better women's wrestlers they've got. But Raquel Gonzalez is a nobody. She's just a big woman. That's all she has, is that she's tall, I guess.
Well, she's only 5'11".
Well, she's as tall as I am then. So
yeah,
so let me show what I can do. That's tall to me, baby.
That's tall, brother. Well,
anyway, taller than Nia Jax. Do you know that? Fucking, I walked by Nia Jax in New Orleans, and she's like just a normal sized woman. Everyone else in WWE is so small. She just looks huge because she's a normal person. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is the thing. Good for Raquel Gonzalez. Like, I guess Io Shirai is going to go to the main roster now. I guess that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
What the fuck they'll do with her, I don't know.
Probably Asuka feud or Rhea Ripley
Tag
feud.
team with Asuka, probably.
Yeah. Well, that's just what they got to do. They got to put the Japanese women together and they'll definitely not
Yeah. Who was the last Japanese woman that they brought in?
Kyrie.
Kairi Sane. Yeah, yeah. I honestly thought her and Io Shirai were the same person.
Oh yeah.
For a while.
Well, Io Shirai is the one who's banging evil. So.
Oh fuck. I just don't know. I just don't know. This fucking show, the first night, had an amazing match on it, but the rest of it was pretty so-so.
Yeah, it was
didn't
just
see the main event.
Fucking Gonzalez won. I don't know. It was just fucking. I don't know. I didn't particularly.
So
care.
you didn't watch it live though. You watched AEW this week.
Yeah, I watched AEW live, but then I watched the USA replay on tape because I didn't realize it was gonna be on Peacock. So I at least torrented the show from USA, and yeah, I just skipped the commercial breaks. But I don't know. I thought I watched AEW live because my friends like watching AEW. They don't care about. I've only convinced my friends to watch AEW. They don't watch anything else. So they like the 2 hour show they can commit to and do nothing else. So that's what they watch with me. Yeah. And so we watch AEW, and I don't know. We watched this show. I mean, Tyson was there. There was some really good stuff on this show. I thought actually there was a couple great promos, some decent matches and angles. But overall, I thought it was kind of a nothing show, and it lost in the ratings. Which honestly, if NXT's putting on a takeover, you should fucking lose. No offense, there's no reason why NXT going all out and doing the WrestleMania takeover on TV should not do a better number.
So NXT won the last Wednesday Night War. They did it.
That way they're not turning their tail and leave. They just have to leave because of hockey. It's not because they lost the ratings war at all. Yeah. But they actually lost in the demo still. They still lost in the demo.
Yeah, well, the demo is just a cope. The demo is just a cope. The only one thing about this show was that Chris Jericho promo where he basically just started reading like he watched my show and just started taking my criticisms of these wrestlers and just burying all of them. It was to the point where I thought it was a really excessive burial, a very burial of the entire Pinnacle. Yeah. It was too much because genuinely he's fucking murdering them. Mm-hmm. And it's Jericho, they can't, what are they going to do? Because they're not, you're right. They aren't over. They aren't over like you are. So you've just fucking murdered these poor fuckers. What is Sean Spears going to do now? Sean Spears may as well just fucking quit his job. Because,
you're probably right. I don't know how they're going to recover because he's right about Dax and Cash. You can't tell them apart. And Sean Spears is
he said it was my fucking criticism. It was straight up stolen from me.
But you know what the thing is that's how you get over as a babyface. You just fucking whine and shoot on people. That's how you get over as a babyface. That's his gimmick. It's one of his ideas.
It's just shit. Not everything needs to be a shoot promo. It's he's gonna come in to give us this great promo, this Academy Award winning promo. The difference between this and the Edge promo is night and day. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because Edge's promo was actually he sat down to have this serious promo to get you hyped for it, but he didn't bury anyone really. It wasn't a shoot burial of these guys. It was it was him putting himself over, I thought, within the story. Whereas this, it was MJF is a mark for himself. He stole my gimmick. The scarf is garbage, which it is. I think the scarf is probably a stupid gimmick. He's shitting all over MJF, shits all over FTR, legit buries them, legit just fucking devastates Spears. He buries Tully even too, because what he said about Tully is also true. And nobody even knows really who Tully fucking is. Who's watching, I don't think, because no boomers are watching this fucking shit.
Yeah.
So that was an issue I had with the show, was just how hard Jericho went on them. The Jurassic Express and Bear Country match. Okay, the whole night throughout the show, JR is promoting King Kong and Godzilla, and you could tell he was pissed off. He was promoting it. Did I tell you that I love Godzilla? You know, like, do you remember him like saying this shit? Like, did I tell you how much I love Godzilla? And he repeated it like a few different times, like throughout the show. And it's the Kong and Godzilla match. This match, they were so green. This Bear Country team is so fucking green. And like, I think Luchasaurus is a bit green too. And so is Jungle Boy for that. Like, the match fucking looked like very amateur.
He's not a little bit green. He's a lot of bit green. It's all over him.
Yeah. It was
fucking green.
Yeah. It's pretty green.
He's green, bro. Green. He's really green.
There was like the weird QT Marshall promo on the show.
This is so stupid. And he's got this fucking Agogo boxer guy. Like, oh, he's an Olympic boxer. Anthony Agogo. It's like, who the fuck is this jobber loser? Fuck off. I don't care. You're gonna make this like big Olympic guy come in. You're gonna put him with QT Marshall and expect him to get over. You can just fuck off. I don't give a fuck.
You have QT Marshall trying to do this shoot promo on Cody. You know, like he's trying to bury Cody, and like Cody is the only reason QT Marshall has any worth at all.
Yeah,
it was just fucking shit, and it was like he was like trying to shoot on him by saying like he had to like run away from WWE to be a star or something like this. But then he didn't like really go all the way with burying Cody. Like if you're gonna start doing this promo where you like point out that Cody is like not a real star and like his wife, you have to start bringing Brandy in and saying like Brandy is, you know, bullshit. She shouldn't have a job here. The only reason she has a job is because she sleeps with you, and bring up the stuff with the Elite, and you know, I don't know. You have to do a bit more with this like Cody shoot promo. I think maybe they'll do more with it, but why? It's like being wasted on QT Marshall. Like, I don't know what they're thinking here. It's to get this go-go boxer over, or is it to get QT over? Who is this supposed to? Is it just like a placeholder for Cody for a month or two? That's what it is.
You're right.
I don't know what the idea of it is. So that was fucking weird. Sting got interrupted by Lance Archer again.
Well, I mean, there was also before that, at the beginning of the show, there was the Death Triangle Best Friends thing going on. I'm assuming is leading to a trios match at fucking whatever it's called, fucking Double or Nothing. That pay per view is what it's going to build to. So they've already started a bunch of new feuds on this show, which I didn't mind. Fuck. Yeah, then this Sting Lance Archer thing, I actually didn't dislike it. I mean, it was kind of shoot, but it was kind of like a shootish promo, but it didn't feel like fake. It felt like, you know, Sting was just talking from like, yeah, you should get it over. Go out there and get it, bitch. Which I didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. It wasn't the best. It wasn't super like, I don't know, it wasn't great. I actually forgot about it until just now, but I enjoyed it when I was watching it. You know, it was pretty compelling. But
yeah, I gotta ask, who the fuck is JD Drake?
You know what? I know who JD Drake is. I'm glad you asked. JD Drake was in Ring of Honor towards the end of its run. It's like a fucking like he was in like the death knells of Ring of Honor. It's like a guy they were trying to push, and his gimmick is I don't know what his gimmick is, but when I've seen JD Drake before, he's not wrestling
I don't know what his gimmick is.
But when I've seen him wrestle before, he's not wrestling in a singlet. Usually wrestles in trunks, and his big fat belly hangs out, and he looks like he's got like my physique, or like not even your physique, like my physique. Where, like he's not like massive girth size, where like it's an impressive amount of fat and girth and muscle. He just looks like a fucking total like loser body, and it's like he's like pasty and white, and like not like you know like Sheamus where he's like bleach white, where you slap him and he's like red marks. He's like like he looks like me if I was like 50 and had hair plugs.
Yeah.
You know? So, and his gimmick is that he's a real wrestler. He's a real wrestler. That's his gimmick. It's like, fuck. Never gonna get over it. Get your shooting boots on, bro.
This match should have been like less than 3 minutes. Like Darby should have just kicked him in the head and hit the coffin drop, and that's it. Like that's like the match, right?
Yeah.
Went on way too long for me because JD Drake wasn't gonna win. And this is all just to enhance Darby. So just have Darby fucking blow this guy out. But then after you had some more bullshit with Matt Hardy and the Butcher and the Blade and the fucking Dark Order. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm getting real tired of this fucking Matt Hardy shit. I want Matt Hardy off the
Oh,
TV.
well, you're gonna get Matt Hardy on your TV next week when he goes 1-on-1 with Darby Allin for the TNT title, only on
Oh,
Dynamite.
oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. That is next week. Oh my god. This guy nearly got like paralyzed in the fucking match with what was his name? Guevara.
Sammy,
Oh
fucking
my god.
TNT title match, bro. He's fucking Matt Hardy. Terrible
But
gimmick.
how did he earn the TNT title match? Didn't he just lose to Adam Page? Wasn't that his last match?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he demanded it, or maybe Darby demanded the match. I don't know.
Well, no,
maybe
it's supposed to be about rankings. Like, just to point out, like, how the fuck is JD Drake the number one contender for the TNT title in the rankings?
Oh,
How
he
does
won a
that
bunch of matches on Dark. You just didn't see him.
But should the matches on Dark really be weighted equally to the matches on Dynamite?
No, but they are.
It's just fucking stupid. I don't know. This whole sports based presentation was a total lie. Total lie. They're just saying, and they should just drop the win loss records because they don't matter at all. They just don't matter.
Someone saying that he's not actually his first AEW. He has appeared in a tag team with Ryan Nemeth on AEW Dynamite before.
How could we have forgotten the most memorable appearances of fucking this guy? Holy shit. What did we have? Fucking Jericho and the brawl with the Pinnacle, Mike Tyson.
I like that. When this started, I didn't like it because I thought they just did this promo with Jericho, which I didn't hate, but I did think it was too much burial. But they just did this. They should let that breathe and then have MJF come back next week and get their heat back, like, next week. But like doing it immediately on the same show just feels like they're doing too much with it. But then I saw it was all to get Mike Tyson involved with the angle. It's like they only got him for like a week, so they're not going to shoot.
But where do we take it from here? Where do we take it from here now? Because how do you bring it up higher than what we've seen these last 2 weeks?
Well,
you know what I mean?
We're doing the Blood and Guts show. I guess my guess is Mike Tyson will be the special guest enforcer for that. Like he will be next week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree. They kind of hyped on it, but they had Mike Tyson on hand. So they thought, well, we better use him for something. This is what their idea was. This was a hot shot segment. It felt like from the beginning, but the idea was to get Tyson on the show and do something with him and Jericho. And I guess this was.
Well, I think this was their attempt also to save the ratings against NXT to try and keep it competitive, right?
They should just let him have it. Just fucking. It's like 1 week. Let them fucking have their 1 week. It's like their last one. They already admitted defeat. They're gonna leave. And then you can have build up to next week where you fucking do an all out show to show, hey, we're gonna get 1.3 million viewers without NXT going head to head with us potentially.
I don't know. There was some bullshit with the Bunny and Tay Conte. I don't even think I watched this match.
I watched this match, and I'll tell you this. As a match, it was not good, but there was some great ass action. There's some great ass jiggling,
Well, these are two of the hottest women in the company.
I know, and there's the end pin. She's like jumping her feet up and down. You get a great shot of what's going on there. It's actually quite excellent. It was very. Listen, man, I don't like women's wrestling, but I do like hot women, and I do like them doing sexy things. So I did enjoy that part of it. It was very enjoyable. High praise, perhaps the greatest women's match in AEW history.
Yeah, then there was like a rundown. So it's Darby Allin and Matt Hardy, the Young Bucks versus Pac and Ray Phoenix for the tag titles next week. Okay.
Bronx Beats. Shout out to Bronx Beats. So you should shut the fuck up in the chat, faggot. Shut up! Sorry.
Shut up, bitch. Dax Harwood and Chris Jericho are going to wrestle? What? Oh, fuck. Okay. Did you see this? That they're going to have Harwood and Jericho wrestle with Mike Tyson as the special ringside enforcer.
Yeah, I did notice that. That's what I was talking about, that they're doing that, yeah.
Oh, fuck. All right, whatever.
Yeah, they're trying to load the show up this next one. They're going to have Tyson again. They think Jade Cargill's a big deal because she was in the segment with Shaq, which did a good rating, but it's fucking Shaq, so who gives a fuck?
There was the heel turn or whatever. I don't know if it was a heel turn or if it was consistent with their characters, but
the actual match I thought was just okay. There was some good stuff with Nick Jackson and Omega in the ring, but I thought the storyline, it's just kind of it got too drawn out and too like soap opera-y, which I don't mind because wrestling is a soap opera kind of at the end of the day. But at the same time, it's like, well, where do you go from here with the storyline now? Like, what's the plan? Who's Kenny going to face at the pay per view? What's the next thing for Kenny Omega? And how does this get him to that? Is it going to be Moxley again? I don't want to see Moxley again, but that's what it feels like. But probably what's going to be is Moxley and what's his face, Eddie Kingston versus the Bucks for the titles. That's my guess. What they're going to do for the pay per view.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting the title on the Death Triangle next week, but it's not going to happen.
I think that I don't think Death Triangle's going to get the tag titles, but I think they're going to get the first trios title. I think they're going to make a trios title.
Should there really be a trios title, though?
There should. This is the one company where a trios title would work, because they've got like fucking 25 trios fucking acts, right?
Well, it's going to work right now, but is it going to work like 5 years from now or 10 years from now?
Maybe. Probably. If they keep booking the way they do, yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I find that in pro wrestling, it's like even having tag team division and like continuing to have good programs for it is hard enough as it is. Mm-hmm. Like, I find that they have enough trouble with the titles that they have already to book all the titles properly and have good divisions for it. And when you start adding more divisions, like if they add a women's tag title as well, which they'll probably do, they're going to add a women's tag, a fucking trios belt, and what are they? Will they add like an X division or cruiserweight style belt as well? I like that AEW only has like a few titles because they can focus more on them, Yeah. Whereas in WWE, they get so many fucking titles going, and they all just kind of become interchangeable and meaningless. So I hope they don't have like a dark title at some point or like an elevation title at some point. Fuck me.
Well, if you want extra titles to get guys over, you can do either the FTW approach, or if guys can work other companies. I mean, Omega's the Mega Champion, AAA. Moxley's the U.S. Champion. He should bring that belt with him everywhere. Like, he should have that belt on him on AEW, right? He should, because it makes him look cool and makes him feel like a big deal, and also encourages people to they're in. The idea is to be not just the only show, but to be like part of wrestling as a whole. As like a group, like a thing that you people you expand the fan base.
I've only ever seen a trios title in like Lucha Underground, so
one. I think of Ring of Honor 6-man tag and the NJPW 6-man tags, and they're not high end titles, but there's something for like units to hold. It's essentially what you're doing is you're crowning the champion faction essentially. Like whatever faction holds the trios title is the top faction. Like the Bullet Club had the trios title when the Bullet Club was on top. Fucking LIJ had the trios title when LIJ was doing their great one. It's essentially a way to get these guys on the smaller end of your programs, get them a belt, get the whole act over with it. That's the whole gimmick. And they've got so many factions. That's why I think that the TNT title was a bad idea. I think I would have rather a trios title from the beginning instead of a TNT title. I agree. You might be too many with the trios title, but I would have preferred just a trios title to add it, because I think that the way they get their show set up, it almost is like dying for it. Like Dark Order could have the belt, and then they'd be a fucking something to work. They have storylines for it or something.
I mean, they've set it up so that I guess a trios title could work. I just don't know if they should have set it up like this in the first place.
I agree. It might be too late. Maybe it is too late. You're right. I think it's fucking been a long time coming, and I think the TNT title is the one that I think is the one that's overkill, because I don't think it's like, why do you need a TV title right now? Isn't the World Championship enough? Shouldn't there just be like one singles championship, right? One tag team champion, the best tag team, the best singles guy, and the best faction. That's what the fucking the belts are for. The TNT title makes it feel like there's tiers in the thing, and it's like, I get there are tiers, but it's just hard to structure the show with it. But
yeah, well, there's always going to have to be like a mid card, but like TNA never really successfully had a mid card belt and made it work either. Yeah. Remember, they had the Legends title, they had
yes,
and the global title.
Who did
global title?
They just had a good one where fucking Moose was the TNA champion and Rich Swann was the heavyweight champion. That one worked, but they had to kill Moose for it, so fuck it.
So yeah, that was AEW this week. It was an alright show. It didn't have to be any more than it was, because they weren't going to beat the takeover that they were up against. Going to Takeover Night 2. Takeover Night 2 starts with Poppy performing. Do you know
Bro, it's Poppy. Bro? It's some pop artist. She's got fucking emo hair and twin tails. That must mean she's cool. She's hot. I jacked off to her last night, bro. Oh my god. Fucking fanboy losers. Oh, it's a dog
they were losing their mind. These fucking fans were losing it for Poppy. Like, they were marking out for Poppy, bro. These neckbeards, they're banging the glass for Poppy.
Well, they're banging something for Poppy. Just like, fuck sake.
Tributes for Poppy. Come tributes for Poppy.
It's just like, fuck. It's like cringe and shit. And it's like, I get it. You know, you get the musical act in the show, whatever. But like, it went on for a while. They did this concert.
No, it did. It was like a 7-minute almost. Like, it felt like 10 minutes was going on. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was only 5.
Listen, the only concert that's ever been over for me in WrestleMania, there's been 2. Actually, there's only been 1. Pitbull, WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, Green Light Baby, oh. Pitbull is over because Pitbull is like the fucking top. He's like wrestling personified. Him and like the Limp Bizkit was at like one of these wrestling shows once. That's like the 2. Yeah! Like, Limp Bizkit and like fucking and Pitbull, the only 2 who deserve to be at WrestleMania. Everyone else is just a pretender and a pansy, you know.
Yeah. So then we go into night 2. I didn't realize the cruiserweight title still existed.
It does, but I don't want to interrupt. But actually, this is not the first time Poppy has been on these takeovers. It's like the 4th or 5th time.
No, well, Poppy's a queen. She's the queen of takeover, buddy. It's Poppy.
It's Poppy.
I don't know, man. I don't know how or why Poppy exists, but she does.
She makes her music.
She's over with these people.
I don't know how Bad Bunny exists. Where did Bad Bunny come from? Like, this guy did not exist like 3 months ago, and now he's like in shows and he's like won the Grammy and he's like the #1 guy. He's like, where did this guy come from? It's like these YouTube stars who like show up and like fucking Dream, or even like the Paul brothers. I don't know how the fuck they like became popular. I don't know what happened that caused them to succeed. Although when we go talk about SmackDown, I'm excited to see Jake Paul at WrestleMania. I mean, Logan Paul at WrestleMania. That's one of my top matches of the entire show.
And I'm excited for Jake Paul and Ben Askren on the 17th. That's going to be a fucking banger, boy.
He's going to get his ass kicked. That's the best part.
No, Jake Paul's going to kick Ben Askren's ass. He's going to knock him out. You wait and see. Ben's going down, boy.
Oh, I want to say before we go into, I actually really like the NXT commentary table. They're really good, actually. They are actually.
I like them. I really like Wade Barrett. I wish Beth wasn't there, but
I think Beth Phoenix. I don't think her voice is that great, but like what she's saying isn't like retarded. So like she does a decent job.
It's just her voice to me. Like, I didn't even realize it was Beth Phoenix until they showed that it was Beth. But yeah, like her voice, I don't know. It's a little bit grating. But other than that, I think it is a good commentary team.
Well, Wade is really good at being like subtly heel. He subtly roots for the heels, but like does not overly bury him. He's not like fucking Corey Graves or something about it, or even Bobby Heenan, where it's so obvious, like patronizing. Like he's still like calling it like a real event or a real match. But he's really fucking good, and Vic Joseph is pretty good. Like it's like a solid commentary table, which is nice. It's rare to have that in WWE, so that was good. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, Santo Escobar and Jordan Devlin. I don't know who these guys are. I didn't realize the Cruiserweight title was still a thing. Is 205 Live still a thing?
It is. Well, the thing is, not only the Cruiserweight title thing, there were 2 Cruiserweight champions up until today. There were 2 Cruiserweight titles. Because Jordan Devlin was the title, and then he got locked over in Ireland because of lockdown. The only reason I know who Jordan Devlin is, I have a friend from Ireland who I've gone to WrestleMania with a couple of times. We met up. We hung out there, and he was big on Jordan Devlin. He was like the star of his local indie, so I know him from the indies essentially. Like he was on fucking OTG or OTW. I forget it was the Irish wrestling promotion, and he was big there. He was like their top guy there. He had some great matches in that company, but that's it.
What did you think of the ladder match?
It was a ladder match. I thought there were some nice moves. Some good high spots. It wasn't the best one I've seen. It was all right, you know.
That's what I thought. It was just a fucking ladder match.
Wasn't anything spectacular. The best part was fucking Santos Escobar calling him cabron during the match. He just fucking would shout like a fucking clearly like Mexican swear word at the guy, like "Oi cabron, oi cabron!" Oh, and then his son came out at the end. I like that when his son came out. That was some good. He's a babyface in my mind now. He's a guy I'm over with. He's like I enjoy him as like a person because he was fucking swearing, like doing like a fucking dropping like a well the equivalent of it like me shouting nigger in Spanish in the middle of a WWE pay per view and just shouting at the top of his lungs, "I cabron!" and then patting his son on the head at the end. That's some good shit. Other than that, the match can go fuck itself. I don't care.
Yeah, the broke the ladder, I think, with the one spot.
That was alright.
Yeah. Then it went into a women's tag match. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus The Way.
I skipped this. I saw these The Way. Candice LeRae gets a witch now. She used to be like this peppy, like, happy girl, but now she's a witch because tons of girls are into witch shit now. Like, everyone's in, like, these, like, college-age girls are all witches now. I don't get this. It's fucking retarded.
I don't know. It's some weird shit. Like, all the women in this match were all, like, weird alt women.
Yeah.
They all had, like, brightly dyed colored hair and this weird, like, alt girl aesthetic. Ember Moon looks like she's way out of shape. Like, Ember Moon looked like she had gained, like, 30 pounds.
I think she has. Maybe she's pregnant.
I don't fucking know, but I think that is she ever going to leave NXT?
She did.
She
didn't.
She failed.
She didn't. She went back down because she failed. So she's stuck here forever in the tag division. The thing is, Ember Moon.
Well, I wonder
she went up, but I never thought she was that good. Even at NXT, I thought she was just kind of bad. I didn't think she was that exceptional. She was just kind of there.
I don't know. I thought she had a couple good matches, but they were against like Asuka, for instance, right? Like,
yeah, they were against good people, but I thought her gimmick was always kind of shit, and I thought her look was bad.
What was her gimmick? What was the gimmick?
She was the Ember Moon. She came out and she was like a werewolf or like a thing, and she held the moon.
She had the fucking colored eye contact lenses or whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
Does she even have those anymore?
Yeah, she does, but that's just part of her. Not everyone has those because everyone's an alt girl get up thing. It's like fuck.
It wasn't very good. It was just a very plain tag match. It wasn't terrible, but it was just pretty average. Then we had Gargano versus Bronson Reed. So these first two matches I thought like were really like just took me out of the show. I felt that they were kind of slow. I was kind of bored with them. This match, Gargano and Reed, it picked it up for me. I started to get into it during this match. Some of the near falls really did get me. I thought at a certain point, like that Reed was had the win. At other times, Gargano I thought had it. I bought into the near falls. I just really think that it should have ended with him hitting that moonsault off the top rope, Reed, and getting the win there. I don't know what. I just think that if they were going to have Bronson Reed win the last night, make him look this strong and have him go this long with Gargano after that gauntlet match, that he should have won the match, but that wasn't the decision they went. What did you think of this match?
I actually don't agree. This one did not pick it up for me. I thought this one was pretty much as mediocre as the first two. I thought the moves were good, but I didn't really get into it at all. It just didn't excite me or interest me basically at all. Maybe I'm just jaded or something. Maybe I'm just an incel, but I didn't fucking like it. I thought it was just okay.
I don't know. I liked Reed. I was trying to root for Reed to win the title. I got behind Reed to win the belt, but he didn't get it. So
I agree. I don't hate Reed. I just don't particularly have a big attachment to the guy. He's just a guy to me. And it's not only the problem with Reed.
Oh yeah.
The problem with me is this whole match. It's structured like every other fucking NXT match. I've seen so many of these fucking WWE near fall matches for so long, and it's just the structure's the same, the moves are the same. It's not the moves are the same. The moves are different, but the way it's laid out is kind of the same. The near falls are when they happen, and it's I couldn't get into it or buy stuff, and which is just me. I just didn't like it personally, so I disagree. Yeah. I did not enjoy it.
So, I mean, you were really fucking having a tough go then with this show.
No, I was not liking this so far. I was fucking tired because I watched this after I watched Bloodsport. So I watched like half of it, and then like I fell asleep, and I watched the rest during like I watched them during my lunch
Yeah,
break at work, and then I watched
I
them a bit.
watched this and then I fucking passed out, woke up at like 2 in the morning and fucking watched Bloodsport. I ordered it, the replay,
Yeah.
and then watched that for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had Karrion Cross and Finn Balor. I wanted to see Balor come out as the demon. I don't even know if he does that anymore.
He
When was the
stopped
last
that.
time?
He hasn't done that since like
Why?
Mania in 2019 in New York. He just gave it up. He doesn't do it now. Which honestly, you know what? Fuck it. Honestly, these fucking long entrances, I'm sick of them. These like overly long, like 20-minute entrances with all the smoke and the mirrors and the pyro. It doesn't actually get you over. It's just like a big thing, a big nothing. Honestly, that's why I don't like. That's why I never got it behind Karrion Cross. It's like it's just an entrance, and then like he does some stuff. And he's just a guy in the ring. Like he's supposed to be this beast and this monster and stuff, but like he's not that much taller than Finn Balor. You put that guy in there with like Walter or Lesnar or something. I just can't see him being intimidating on the main roster because I'm assuming he's gonna get called up to the main roster soon. He's a guy they probably want,
I
but
can see him. I can see him working on the main roster. I always was a big fan of Killer Cross. It's just it needed to coalesce a bit better. Like I thought his run in Impact was good.
mm-hmm.
I did. I think that his offense, though, particularly in this match, wasn't quite hard hitting enough. Especially when you had like Walter's offense
Yeah,
the night before, and then you compare Cross's offense to Walter, it's not as stiff, it's not as good.
no,
Um,
it's not.
like when he was in that spot raining down the elbows on Finn, that looked good, I thought, but I thought that that probably should have just been the end of the match. Like if you elbow a guy that many fucking times like Cross did, that should probably be the end of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this match wasn't great, you know. I
No,
feel like
just okay. Like I thought it was just kind of mediocre. I thought the same problem I had with the last one. It's like I tuned it halfway through. It's got phone heat for me. When I just started looking at my phone partway through, I was messaging people. I started playing Monster Hunter because I wanted to play Monster Hunter, and I was playing that kind of distracted. It's like it's fucking hard for me to keep attention to this stuff, and I'm trying my best, man. It's just been a lot of wrestling this week already, and I gotta watch WrestleMania still too. And it's like
I'm
fuck.
really into Killer Cross. Like I was really into him in Impact. This was, I think, the first time I've actually seen him as Karrion Cross. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
This was basically my introduction to the Karrion Cross character. I've not seen any of the other shit. So I thought the entrance was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I looked at it as an entrance that is being done for Takeover. And is that just his entrance every week?
He does that entrance every
does?
fucking. He does that like fucking long entrance with like the dancing and like the smoke and like the fall and pray stuff all the time. Like that's what he does. It's too much. I think it's like way too much of an entrance for a guy.
So, and I'm just trying to understand what the character is. So he's like an MMA guy, okay, but he's also is he like supernatural? Why
Um,
is he in black and white? Why is it like that?
that's a good question. I believe the woman is supernatural. I don't think he is. I think he's just a monster that she like feeds things to. Like he has to like, well, like there's like he like signs contracts. I think he's like the devil, and she's like his like the person who's like tempts souls or something. I don't know. It's just a thing.
What?
You see, this is
This is
why I
just
don't.
it's just difficult because I look at Dexter Loomis, I see immediately the guy's a psychopath, like he's a lunatic character, and he's like that's like he's a serial killer, okay?
Mhm.
But like you look at Killer Cross, and I'm not sure what he's supposed to be or Karrion Cross. I don't know. Like, is he the next Undertaker? Is that what they're going with, or is he like a next like a Lesnar type prototype? It's just weird, this kind of mishmash together. It kind of reminds me of um what's his name in Lucha Underground, Mil Muertes, but
Yeah.
like not as good. Kind of. It's like Muertes, but not as good. I want to see this guy succeed. I kind of I like his look. I think he's decent enough in the ring. It's just the character work, which is supposed to be his big strength, I think isn't there. I think it needs to be a bit more coherent, and
Mhm.
maybe they'll figure it out in NXT over the next little while. and then when he goes up to the main roster, he'll do well. But I don't think Karrion Kross is that young. I think he's like 36 or 37,
No,
isn't he?
he's up there. I think with Karrion Kross, I like his in ring work. I don't particularly like his character. I also he looks good, but it's not like exceptional. It's just a look. He just looks like a guy. To me, Karrion Kross looks like a generic creator wrestler, and I'm sorry that's maybe being harsh, but he's not. Doesn't have an intimidating size. His physique is just okay in there. What's really good is his work. That's what I really think is like good about Karrion Kross. But like,
well, I think in AEW he would have stood out a lot more.
probably
I
because
think,
everyone there is smaller. But like, imagine Karrion Kross versus like Braun Strowman. It's like Strowman like would tower over this guy. Everyone in the main roster would tower. Him versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns would look huge. And the problem is his gimmick is that he's like a monster, right? He's a monster who's like, going through and fighting
yeah,
through
but
people.
I don't
But he's
know.
not
He's got like judo skills and like the MMA stuff, and
right.
he's big enough. He's big enough that he'll be okay. He's big
No,
enough
he'll
to
be
be able
okay.
to be in there believably with anyone.
As
I
like a
think.
regular wrestler, I agree. But the problem is his gimmick is that he's a monster. He doesn't look like a monster. He looks like a talented wrestler, the character isn't matching with his image. That's my problem. He's like an
Uh,
unstoppable like force
he's
to me.
got some decent. I don't know. He's got some decent facials to him, like some decent intensity. But it's just you have to see. Like when he goes up to the main roster, will he be exposed? I
We'll
don't know.
see. We'll find
Most
out.
guys get exposed.
They do.
I liked this guy when he was in Impact, and I thought he was in a good spot there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why he really left. Like, I guess so he
Money.
could be in WWE and make more money, but I thought he could have got over there and done well. But TNA is fucking dead, so good for him.
Got out while it's
Um,
still
and
can.
and then it was the main event. It was time for Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Um, holy fuck, we've said this, but it was
So
so
fucking
long.
long.
It was so long. This match, I've seen it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this type of match. And these guys have worked, like, haven't they wrestled each other a bunch of times before in like ROH and
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
other companies?
Fucking
Uh,
Red Dragon and Bullet Club like wrestled like 3,000 times in New Japan at one point. These guys have worked together for years, and they're it was an okay match, but it wasn't super heated. I didn't particularly care for like the garbage wrestling. There was some creative stuff, but it wasn't like that like incredible. It wasn't super intense. I thought it wasn't physically that intense. And you know what? If this match was about 20 minutes shorter, it probably would have been really good, but it was just so long and drawn out and fucking like went on forever. It's just fucking
it
bad.
didn't need to be 40 minutes bell to bell. It didn't need to be 40 minutes. 20 minutes, 25 minutes would have sufficed. The video package on it like explained the story well enough, but it wasn't something that was really resonating with me where it's like, okay, like this is really going to be amazing. Like this story is so intense between these friends. It's like, not really. It's not even like a level of like Owens and Sami Zayn type like story, I don't think, that they had in NXT back in the day. Um, it just didn't work for me. I fell asleep. And I think when you fall asleep during a wrestling show, it's like an automatic fail.
It
Like when you're
is.
falling asleep, like it's over. And it's not even that late at night. It's like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm not usually falling asleep at that time. It's just
Well,
like sucking the soul out of your body.
I watched this match before SmackDown tonight, and I was also almost falling asleep because it wasn't very good. I stopped paying attention.
And also,
The
the
thing is,
biggest thing I cared about was the Killer Cross Finn Balor match. I cared more about that than this. So it was also a thing where I thought that the NXT title should have probably went on last.
yeah,
Is what I
probably,
thought.
but it didn't, and it was probably a mistake. And they should have sort of swapped places, give the NXT title maybe like I don't know if it needs more time, but just swap and make the show shorter and make that Kyle O'Reilly out of the Cole match a little bit shorter, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
It wasn't a
that
classic.
was
Well, the thing is,
that was Takeover night too.
I've watched Adam Cole matches in NXT that are this long that are really fucking great. He's had some great main events in NXT. Adam Cole has. The problem is he had great main events in front of crowds, and I think being in this small arena, working this style of match, you probably need to be in a fucking huge giant stadium for it to work. You need like a takeover size building, like a fucking football size, not football, but like hockey building. throw him in there with a big hot crowd, and maybe it would have worked. But as it is with the matches that came out, it just was fucking okay. I can't even say it was bad because the work was good, but I didn't like it. And fuck it, let's move on to Bloodsport.
Yeah, so Bloodsport, I ordered the pay-per-view for $20.
I watched this live. I'm not sure if it was worth 20. Might have been better if it was 10, but it was $20. I guess you pay to see the guys. But I don't know. What do you think about it? I'll let you go first on this one. I don't know. I'll kind of gauge the reaction.
The show started off with Karen Tran and Janai Kai. I liked this match in terms of that these two were working a style that was believable for women's MMA. Yeah. And you had Tran, who was the grappler, and Janai Kai, who was the striker. I liked the finish of this match where Kai hit that head kick. It looked like it might be over with the head kick, and then Tran got the submission. Tran put her in like 5 or 6 different close submissions. They were nearly all arm bars. It was a good show to start the tone that this is a more reality-based fed, but I would say that I would have put the Murkowski and Karai the next match on first.
I agree.
Just because I feel like that match was not only better, but it also was a men's match. And I think the audience who's tuning into blood sports wants to see the men more. And that's what I would have done personally.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was thinking that last night too, as I was watching this live. I thought that the women's match they showed off. I mean, I don't even want to say it was terrible. I just didn't particularly think it was that great. I thought there was a couple of times when what's her face, Kai was doing ground and pounds. I thought her punches looked pretty bad. She probably is a legit shooter, but she probably doesn't know how to do a worked shoot punch. She wasn't. It didn't look that stiff. But then this, the Karai and Murkowski match was actually really fucking awesome. So I would have put that on first, and I would have put this one on second because I get having women's matches in the show because every Fed has to now, but I would have spaced them out so it's like a thing, like it's like a change of the pace thing, not like the way to start the show, not a tone setter.
Yeah, and I think the reason that a lot of these punches on the ground look bad is because they're not even punches. Like I think they're going by Pancrase rules, but it wasn't established that it was Pancrase rules. So like in Pancrase, when you get a takedown, you can't use a closed fist. It's has to be a palm strike on the ground. But standing, it can be a closed fist. But that wasn't explained in the rules before the show. But some of the matches were being worked like it was Pancrase style. Other matches were being worked like it was by those blood sport rules. So it was a little bit weird sometimes with that work. But the Murkowski and Karai match was really fucking good.
It was great, actually. There was some great stuff. Karai did some really great, wrestling, like Greco-Roman style stuff. He had a great look, and Murkowski. At first, you think Murkowski in a traditional wrestling match would definitely lose, but in this style, it was really interesting. There was a lot of great arm bars and great fucking submission stuff, some good striking, but there was a lot of great Greco-Roman style wrestling, which is awesome. And it was the flying armbar was the finish on this one, I'm pretty sure, which just looked awesome. And it was, it looked like a believable flying armbar. Like you could actually, I'm not sure if you would see that in an MMA match, but that's the whole point of blood sport. Is you see things that would be like in a 1 in a million MMA match style thing. You see that on the show,
Yeah, that's the idea of it. And this match, I think, didn't go too far.
No,
some of the matches went too far later on in the show. But I thought this established a realistic, good style for what you were going to see later on. I thought these first 2 matches were fine, but I would have put this match first and then the women's match. Then you had Victor Benjamin and Bad Dude Tito. Bad Dude Tito is quite the name.
It is, yeah. But fuck, I don't know. And
he was over with Surfer, and that was the thing. A Surfer actually liked this show. He said it was the best wrestling show he's ever seen. Out of any of the shows he's seen.
Bloodsport's so different from any other wrestling that it's by default a lot of people will enjoy it just because it's different. It's unique and it's got such a cool look. I think this is one of the weaker blood sports I've seen too, because I thought the last one they did, which didn't that cool blood fucking Killer Dome type of.
It's the venue needs here they didn't have a big crowd. It was a small crowd. The venue was a little dingy.
It was outdoors.
The production value was pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. There were a lot of times the audio cut out.
It's one of these shows that if I could have, I would have liked to seen this one live. And with anything with Bloodsport, if you're ever in town for WrestleMania weekend, I would go out of your way to go see Bloodsport. It doesn't translate as well onto video as you might think, because in person it is so much better live. Like the first Bloodsport, it's a good show to watch, but if being in that show was the fucking shit. And like the one time Bloodsport did have good production value was the last time when they did a no crowd one. And they did like in kind of
that was like in like a gym almost. It was
right, but it was lit really well and looked kind of like the the arena in the original Bloodsport movie with like the cool like banners and stuff. I thought that one was a really good production value show. And I liked the look, and I actually enjoyed that show more in terms of top to bottom card, although it didn't have the good main event like this one did, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, this show was really like top heavy, but there was still some like I don't know, like there wasn't any match on this show because these matches tended to be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't anything that overstayed its welcome.
No.
And this like Benjamin and Tito match was maybe one of the weakest spots on the show, I thought. But I liked that Tito won. I thought it was funny Tito won.
The flabby fat guy won, but the whole thing with Bloodsport, it's not about if you look better, it's about if you're the better shoot wrestler. Like fucking, and we'll get to that later. But like, I mean, he clearly he did some good shit, and he won with a heel hook, which is kind of like like a kind of dirty move in wrestling. But it doesn't matter to Bloodsport; anything goes. So
yeah, the heel hook. I thought the finish on this was actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
He had some. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the whole thing with these Bloodsport shows, like, I mean, like the undercards are always super short matches, so that you set the tone. It's all about building to the main event because every single one of these Bloodsport shows I've seen 100% from like the bottom cards, all the matches end quickly or with like a power bomb kill someone or like just one heel hook kill someone. So when you start doing the near falls in the main event, it gets over way more. That's the whole point, is to build. The whole show is like lower, or is just to accentuate the main event and make it feel like a whole. Those main event type matches are different a little bit because of it. I don't know. I like the Bloodsport style, so I don't know. I fucking like.
Yeah, there was Simon Grimm and Alexander James. Like James came out kind of. I didn't like either of these guys' entrances. I thought Simon Grimm's fucking Grim Reaper helmet thing was kind of cheap, and James had this knockoff Game of Thrones robe.
I didn't like any of these guys having entrances, actually. I would have preferred if like nobody had any entrance gear. Everyone comes out and like Bloodsport shoot stuff. I'm okay with music and stuff and like maybe like a jacket, but like nobody should have like crazy entrance gear. It should just be.
I don't mind the crazy entrance gear stuff because you do see it in boxing and you do see it in MMA sometimes. I suppose that's true. It's fine. You can add the sizzle, you can add the flash. And I actually think that it's kind of cool to have these over-the-top kind of characters come in and then work this more realistic style. Like, like characters you would see in Bloodsport or characters you would see in like Mortal Kombat, right? And bring that to life. And I think like...
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I was wrong.
That's what this federation needs to be, is like everything in the ring needs to look like a shoot, but everything outside of it can be really theatrical and entertaining. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's like it blends the fantasy and reality. I don't know. It's hard to find the correct balance for this show. Like they have to find, I think, at some point a clear, coherent direction. Do they want to take it in a way where it's like UFC, as close as they can to it, but work? Because if they do that, it's almost like, well, why wouldn't I just watch UFC, right?
Well, I think the reason you would watch it is because, like, when you see that flying armbar, like, I've seen one flying armbar in UFC ever, but the thing is, it's possible to do it. The idea is that everything in there is possible to do in UFC, but you do improbable moves and stuff and finishes that are exciting, Like, you make it's UFC without the boring shit, is the idea.
And like, when they're on the ground, they're constantly moving. Nobody's just laying there. Okay, they're working. There's transitions. That stuff is good. Some of the moves that were done, like the Boston Crab, I think was used in this match.
That was next one.
Yeah, I didn't really like the Boston Crab being used or like the sharpshooter being used because I thought that they looked just maybe a bit too pro wrestling.
A little bit, yeah.
just a little bit too much. This match ended with Grimm winning. I guess Grimm's been on most of the
He was
shows,
on
if
the
not
first
all
one,
of them.
yeah. I mean, he's a shoot wrestler. He was like he was like a I don't know if he's Olympic, but he was in like NCAA. So he's got some background. He's a WWE guy, so I mean, like he wants to do it. And he was good every time I've seen him in these shows. He's been a good wrestler. So good for him. Next was Alex Coughlin and Royce Isaacs. Alex Coughlin's from the New Japan LA Dojo, which I don't know if you. I know you don't watch Strong. I think every single one of the LA Dojo guys is gonna be like something. I'm not sure in New Japan, but they're all fucking great. They're all amazing fucking workers, and they've been trained really, really well. I think it's the best.
I like the story of this match a
Me
lot.
too. I think everyone in the LA dojo will eventually. I think that is the best training program in the United States. If you're, I don't think there's any aspiring wrestlers watching this, but if you're an American wrestling guy coming up, you should go try to work at the LA dojo. See if you don't work in New Japan, you'll actually learn some great stuff from there. I think it's pretty obvious they've got the best training program in the world right now.
Yeah. No, this match was worked pretty fucking good. It
Yeah.
was exciting. It was good energy to it. And I thought that Royce was going to win. Isaacs was going to win. When he had that same submission on that he won the first time, I thought that was it. But then Coughlin got out of it. He hit the knee, and then he got that DDT. He got that half crab for the submission.
It was a heel hook crab, and he put a heel hook and he transitioned it into a crab from the heel hook. So I thought it wasn't terrible. At least it was he was really tapping onto the heel hook with the pressure from the crab on it.
Yeah.
So at least it was a very good looking Boston Crab. It was actually, if it was in a regular ass match, I would actually say it's really fucking good. But you are right; it's just a regular wrestling move.
The next match was my favorite match, and I think that this is what they need to go for. This is fucking amazing. They're on to something here.
Super Beast comes out, he has the best luchador mask. I want this luchador mask. It's got like the zombie face paint from MGS3, but a luchador mask. And then Schlack.
It's just very simple. It's very simple and
it's simple, but he looks like Bane. He's like super jacked underneath. Yeah. He's awesome.
He's fucking huge.
And then huge. Schlack, no neo-Nazi Schlack comes out. And he's fucking like, he's like a fucking weird fucking tank of a dude. And like they just start fighting each other. And Schlack's a hardcore wrestler. He's a shoot like he's like light tube to the face, like CZW, like GCW hardcore guy. So what he does is he tries to do some real wrestling, but like he just gets sick of it. And he starts biting the guy and biting against the rules, so he's disqualified. It's like it was all it was so good.
But it was so fucking like they start brawling with like the punches, like they do a little bit of wrestling. Yeah. They brawl with the punches. Shellac gets busted open fucking bad. He's fucking bleeding like crazy. Like the blood is fucking awesome. And it had just this vibe to it of like these two really badass motherfucking dudes battling. And it's a short match, but it does have a story to it, which is, well, Schlack, he's not going to win this match because of his technical ability, but he gets out of it by breaking the rules and biting the guy's boot. Mm-hmm. And there's so much blood that it looks like there's blood coming from the boot, like he's got through the boot, and he's now causing him to bleed from his foot. So it was fucking cool. And and then the fight wants to continue. They bring all the fucking wrestlers out to hold them back. Yeah. We're getting those almost like a callback to Lesnar and Undertaker, those pull apart brawls. It was really fun. It was really, really fun. I want to see these guys again.
Actually, I do. They should do this the next Bloodsport. Something to build to make you go back. This is also the time of night when the sun was finally setting, so it was getting dark out, and that's when the show started looking a lot better. There's more fans. By the end of the show, there's a lot more fans there, and it was dark, so you had like the cool lighting and stuff. So by the end of the show, I thought the look was finally okay, and it's like when the show started to actually like this was the turning point where things were starting to look decent.
So these two guys have great looks.
Schlack will forever be an indie guy because of his neo-Nazi past. I don't think he'll ever make it to any big Fed, unfortunately. But he's a great hardcore worker, and he's awesome in this kind of stuff. So just let him keep working, and like don't let him get too big, otherwise he'll get fucking fucked over. But
like I think both of these guys are really good in this spot. I don't really know like if Super Beast is ever going to transition anything.
Probably not. You can take the mask off him. You can maybe take the mask off him and just make him be like you make him go by his real name, and no one would even know it was Super Beast, probably.
But they need to get like all the guys need to look like this. Like they all need to be like super fucking jacked, like big motherfuckers, like very unique looks, like very unique charismatic looks, and maybe just have a smaller roster. Have like a group of 8 or 12 type of these guys that are the core. Have guys come in to kind of lose to them and build towards feuds between the core 8 or 12 guys that look like this.
Like this, the thing is, like the Walrus from AEW was on the show. He would have been a great fit to stay on this show and be.
No, he should stay on the like Butcher should have stayed here. This is the look I want. I want guys who look like Butcher and Schlack and fucking and Super Beast and Josh Barnett, like guys who look like that. That's what
I agree that needs to be part. I actually don't mind some of the smaller guys being on the show though, because it's like it's a MMA show. There's different weight classes. You have a certain
degree of variety, and it also makes the bigger guys look more special.
Right, and you don't have them fight each other. You just have you have legit weight classes, and that's why. Like when I think of my favorite match from the first Bloodsport, it wasn't Minoru's, wasn't Suzuki. I mean, it was probably Suzuki Barnett, but the second best one was Gresham and fucking what's his face? Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. I'm looking it up right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was Takeda, Masashi Takeda, who is like, I don't know if you've seen Takeda ever, if you've watched the first Bloodsport. He's that guy he's been in so many hardcore matches, his entire body just covered in scar tissue, from like his chest to his back. He's like looks like he's been through like a fucking ringer like 20,000 times. That was like my favorite, or like probably my favorite match from that first show. So you get like guys like that size who can work with each other and build up this stuff. You can have a lot of variety and great stuff on the show. But I don't even know if I would have a regular roster. I think it should be like an event, and like you have different fighters.
See, the thing about this is I can't tell whether or not this style is something that would work as a product like an AEW or a WWE. I don't know if it would work week to week because it's kind of a novelty.
I think should be once or twice, maybe 3 times a year. They do them every couple of months. Maybe it's like Mortal Kombat. You have the tournament come up, you have the guys come through. Maybe you do like a tournament show, or like you have 2 or 3 shows in a row.
Yeah,
you have like a fighting tournament.
But I would be interested to see. I think for this particular promotion with Bloodsport and the name Bloodsport, that's what you do. Like what you're saying, you do 3-4 tournaments a year. You have some like interesting, very unique gimmicks come in.
I don't even know if you do. I don't even do like 3. I think you do 1 tournament a year and then a couple like single. I think you do a show at WrestleMania weekend because you're gonna have WrestleMania fans there. You do make it a regular WrestleMania weekend show, and then you do like a tournament over the summer or like over the fall or something. You just like have like these guys come in and like fight each other like in like a couple shows. That's what I would do. I don't know if I would do more than that. You should make it. I think less. I think it's one of those things where less is more. You see this like once or twice a year into special events. It's a special little treat, and you get to see these.
Yeah.
You let real wrestlers and real MMA guys come in, and guys who, normally don't work the style get to let them work a different style and do something different.
Well, I'd be interested to see what a weekly product like this would do. I'd be interested to see what, if a company just went from the pro wrestling style we do now to this style, how it would do. Well, I'd be interested to see.
Ring of Honor tried doing this with Ring of Honor Pure. I don't know if you watched any of that, but that's what Ring of Honor tried to do with this, and it just didn't. I don't know if it worked that well. It'd be tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could work if you had the right talent involved in it that could do good character work as well. Because I'm guessing what happened with ROH Pure is that everybody was like the same bland, generic, like white meat sports athlete, and they didn't have any sort of like compelling stories to it or promo work or anything like that. Is you have to present this with the theatricality of wrestling, but the style that's more like the shoot. And the reason I think that wrestling should move maybe more in this direction is a lot of people now have seen UFC. They know what a real fight looks like. And WWE is so far removed from that it's kind of considered a joke, like by everyone. And you know what I mean? So this can bring back some of the legitimacy to the sport. You know?
Well, I mean, when this style works, you can do a lot of you get a lot of great reactions with like very few moves. Honestly, like without a lot of danger, I think it preserves the longevity of a lot of these guys. Like they won't be working like crazy fucking matches. They'll be able to work for a lot longer because they're working what is relatively like a safe match, a safe, while also looking way more dangerous and feeling way more vicious than a lot of like these hardcore indie spot fests. It doesn't kill the guys, but it looks more dangerous. So I don't know. You're right. But I don't know if it would ever work. I don't know if it could ever get over because I think it'd be hard to mesh promos with this style. I think it being special in its own thing. I don't. I think I'm okay with this. I'm okay with some of this stuff just staying on the indies and being a special little thing that people discover and find. It doesn't have to be mainstream. It can just work, and we can just watch it.
Well, no, I just don't know if is this the solution. Like, this is what I'm thinking. Like, is this the solution to making the product better? I don't know. I guess they tried something like this in WWE with that Raw Underground, which was just a failure.
I mean, they tried it and it didn't work. So but that's because Raw. I mean, Vince doesn't know how to do it. I think Vince is a great.
I actually didn't mind the first couple Raw Undergrounds that I tuned into.
Yeah, it was cool, but it didn't have legs and it just didn't mesh well with the rest of the show. It looked like it was so different from the rest.
Yeah, you have to pick one or the other. It either has to be fucking Raw as we know it, or it has to be this new way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's where a new little fed can pop in. Maybe AEW should have the odd match that's like this. I wouldn't mind to see that, but
yeah, I wish we could have more stuff like this. But the thing is, I think it's cooler as like an almost like it's a true underground fighting ring. Like you get to know about Bloodsport, you gotta dig into wrestling. You have to be more of a hardcore fan to find it, and you find it, you get the gem in the rough. You have to discover it. I think I like that more. There's something about that I just enjoy. It's like I wish honestly they should do these things at like secret venues. Like you have to know a password to get in or some shit. That'd be fucking cool. Just some crazy shit like that. To make it feel like the Bloodsport Kumite or in fucking Bloodsport or fucking the Mortal Kombat. Like that should be the style, and it should be like everything should feel like that. It should be in smoky. It should be like in that building the first one was in. It should be in smoky, like dingy, like kind of grungy bars or like
Well, I want to see fans like surrounding the ring, like it's like almost like throwing cash, like placing bets, like. You could almost just have a paid fucking audience.
Yeah.
One thing that's like this is combat karate or karate combat on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen this,
I don't think I
but
have.
it's a shoot where it's like karate, and they're in like all these weird venues, like they have like a CGI like composite venue that's like Mortal Kombat, or like they have an event that's like from like the Greek like Acropolis, where it has like these fucking columns all around it. This karate combat. They had like one that I think was on like a space station, but like these are actual like legitimate fights.
Right.
But they have like a weird like background to it. They make it kind of fun and interesting. I don't know if that's something. This kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
That would be fun. That's a good idea. I don't know. It'd be interesting, but fuck, I don't know. Let's get into this fucking finish this card off. No, let's.
Finish Bloodsport. Masha Slamovich versus Alyssa Kay. This match I think was probably very poor.
It was just okay. I mean, somehow Masha Slamovich is probably the ugliest Russian woman I've ever seen. But it's fine. I don't mind. The women don't have to be attractive in Bloodsport because it's supposed to be like fucking real shoot fighters, so they can look whatever. But I don't know. I thought that it was just too pro wrestling. I thought it didn't look that like serious, and I thought the gear was too pro wrestling. I think I don't mind the entrance gear looking cool, but I think when you're in the ring, you shouldn't have these like crazy like straps or.
Well, my problem with this one, like there was the suplexes in this one, and then the next one, like the suplexes and the power bombs, I thought were starting to get really overused. Like in this, like when you hit a suplex or a power bomb, it should be at the end of the match or very like damn near like that. The guy's almost gone unconscious because like in an actual MMA match. Like if somebody gets suplexed or fucking dropped on their neck in a power bomb, like they're fucked up. Like they're really fucked up.
That's it.
So some of the suplexes, like this Leo Rush match that happened after, it this was a match that shouldn't have fucking been booked. There's no reason to put Lio Rush in a federation like this, I don't think. I don't know. You had the
No,
little Japanese guy. I thought they were too little. I thought they were maybe a little too little,
well,
and
like I
they
said, that's
did too
why
much pro wrestling.
they did do too much pro wrestling. I don't mind them being two little guys because it's like you have to have different weight classes in this MMA stuff. I don't mind different weight classes, but the weight classes should stick to each other. And I don't even mind them working a faster pace style when they started off, and they were working like a much faster pace in the heavyweight guys. It's like that's fine. They're lighter weights; they should be working a little bit more quickly. But you're right. There was too much. There's some stuff that should just end the match. It just didn't. Especially since that's the rules of blood sport. Where like you watch the Davey Boy Smith match in this one right after this, the power bomb was the finish because
it was the finish. Yeah,
because it's like that's a big fucking move and it should just knock you out. But no, I mean the Lio Rush thing, it was all right. I mean Lio Rush is one of their guys now because he's one of their bigger stars on the Indies, so they gotta fucking get him over. But I don't know. I didn't particularly hate this match. I thought it was bad. I didn't think it was terrible. It was just okay. But then
Davey Boy and KTB.
Which was just a squash match. Davey Boy just killed KTB, and I like KTB.
Yeah.
I think he's been good.
No, I liked KTB. I was pulling for KTB actually,
but Davey Boy just fucking beat the shit out of him, give him a ton of elbows, and then just powerbomb him, and the powerbomb knocked him out because his powerbomb was so fucking effective. And that's the kind of shit that should be that's like what's different. It's like one move ends it. And then Chavo versus Rocky Romero, which was it's a weird match to have on the show because neither of them are really blood sport guys. They're not like shoot wrestlers, but they're here. And
Chavo looks good. Chavo's physique looks good for his age.
Yeah, I like Rocky. He's one of my guys. I met him at WrestleMania once. He's a nice dude, but I just don't know if this was a good match for Bloodsport. It should have been like one of their other. It should have been like.
Well, there was a Brain Buster. There was Enziguris. There was like Three Amigos. There was like.
Yeah.
It was too much. They did too much, and it fucking hurt the realism. It hurt the gimmick of what this is trying to be.
Well, that's why I thought this was one of the weaker blood sports because most of the other, some of the actually there's some weaker ones in this one, but some of the other ones you watched, they really commit to the gimmick from top to bottom, and it's like that's what I like to see. That's what I want to watch. I want to be like fully immersed in this show and not get like thought into just a regular wrestling match or wrestling show. But they did follow up with Chris Dickinson versus Shane Mercer. I don't know if you've seen Shane Mercer ever before this. The Iron Demon Shane Mercer.
No, I hadn't seen him. I liked his look.
Shane Mercer I've seen for a couple of years now. He's fucking awesome. I mean that 605 bench press is a shoot. He can bench a ton of fucking weight. I've seen him do where he's like when he does his pro wrestling, like the fucking thing where you hold the guy and like you do a slam on him. I've seen him he's like vertically holding the guy from like the middle rope and he does a fucking moonsault holding the guy from there. It's fucking insane. Like he does some insane power moves. He's insanely athletic. I've been high on this guy for a while. I hope he gets pushed somewhere. Someone needs to snag this guy up and do something with him. I know he's young and green, but got great physique, awesome talent, and I mean he's like a fucking star physically. I think. I just don't think he's ever gonna. I don't know who's gonna take him.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be one of those guys that fits here.
Maybe
in this role. I think right now the rosters for both, well, especially WWE, there's just so many guys that like how many more people are going to get hired? No. I guess AEW could bring in some more guys, but they only have a 1-2 hour show.
Yeah, they've got too many people as it is. But I mean, he can go to New Japan or something. I don't know. But Chris Dickinson is in this match too, and I like Chris Dickinson too, and he did some great stuff. There's some great back and forth. But it was also close to the Bloodsport style that I like, where it was much more. There wasn't a ton of high impact stuff, and when it was like close to the end.
No, this was a lot better. These guys knew what they were doing with the style, and it was a good match. That's all I really got to say. I mean, Dickinson won. I would have preferred Mercer to win myself, but
Dickinson's one of the regulars on these shows. He's one of their guys that they're like. He's like.
Yeah, I think he's been on every one that I've seen.
Yeah, he has. He's one of the Bloodsport guys. I mean, he's a shoot, fighter, so it makes sense that. I mean, I would have liked Shane Mercer to win, but it makes sense that Dickinson won because he's a Bloodsport guy. And then
we got Moxley and Barnett.
Yeah, which I thought was fucking awesome. this is a fucking great match. It's one of the better matches. I think it's gonna be one. I don't think it's better than Walter Ciampa, but it's gonna be one of the two matches I remember most from this weekend, probably when all is said and done.
It will be up there. I think the match I'm going to remember the most is like Shock and Super Beast. To be honest with you,
it was fucking great, wasn't it?
Only
Oh
2 minutes
god.
long. It's only 2 minutes long, but that was like the fucking high point for me. I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is what it needs to be. This is fucking perfect. And it popped me more than this match, even,
Yeah.
because I was just so fucking juiced about the way those two guys looked when they
Yes.
collided. It was fucking awesome.
It was
I had
fucking
a great
great.
time. But this match was fucking, way technically better than Shiok and fucking Super Beast. But the blood was great from both guys. Moxley, when he started fucking bleeding, man.
Oh my god, it was fucking gushing. I don't. Did he even blade? I thought that was it like a hard way cut. I couldn't
I think
tell.
it was an elbow. I think it was a hard way elbow.
I think it was a hard way. It was fucking so much blood, and then after the blood was gone, you could see his face was just white. It was like flush because he had lost so much blood. And it was just like, holy shit. And then, like, the finish was so great on this. I mean, normally, I don't like these kind of finishes, but this was so fucking awesome where Moxley got TKO'd. He fucking got hit a ton, and then he couldn't respond, so he was out. It's like...
Well, it reminded me of like a finish from like UFC 1 where the big fat guy stomped on the other guy's head until the match fucking ended. That's what it reminded me of. Like, stomps to the head are very fucking brutal and should be treated as such. Like Seth Rollins' curb stomp, if it was really done, would probably fucking kill somebody. Shit like this. So, like, when you're getting stomped in the head like that, yeah, the match should probably be ended, and it made sense for this. It kept Moxley strong in that he wasn't submitted. He wasn't really fully out of it.
And they can tell him % run it back. They can run it back a couple of times. He's probably one of their guys that they're gonna want to keep around to keep doing these shows. Because, I mean, fuck me, like this is like 100% his kind of show. And like he doesn't even come out to his regular. He doesn't come out to his like fucking AEW song. He comes at like some like fucking indie song he picked up or some shit. And honestly, Barnett should win it because shoot, he's a fucking UFC heavyweight champion and Moxley's just a pro wrestler. Like, but Barnett should win a real fight, But
well, yeah. I think that it makes sense for Barnett to win. Moxley can pretty much beat most anybody else on the show other than Barnett.
Yeah.
But with Barnett, like, have they had him lose yet? I think they had a draw.
The first one was a draw with Suzuki, which, I mean, Suzuki was a founding father of MMA too, so he's kind of got the same pedigree as Barnett. I mean, he's a bit smaller, but he does have like that same level of pedigree and like MMA background as Barnett. So that's the one guy I would say you could. It'd be him and Matt Riddle will be the two that I would say you could go with Barnett and like be like legit like allowed to like go the distance or something. But
yeah, unless they get people in like a Lashley or somebody like that's never gonna happen.
No. This should be just indie guys. Frankly, I don't want like this to be touched by mainstream stuff at all. I want this to be separate and its own thing.
Well, I don't. I want to see actual shooters come in, like guys from UFC. I want to see them come in. They can get talent from Submission Underground, I'm sure. Do you know Submission Underground is this jujitsu shit? They actually have introduced tag team jujitsu last week.
Oh, yes! It's fucking like awful. It's so great.
2-on-2 and 3-on-3 matches. And like, so, and that's Chael Sonnen who runs that. And they could probably get some jujitsu guys from out of that and get some crossover with MMA fans in and jujitsu fans in and stuff like that. I see there being potential for this company if they get the right mixture of certain people from AEW or ex WWE guys. Like if Kurt Angle wanted to do a match at Bloodsport, like who's going to tell him no?
Yeah.
If certain guys will have the right fit, like a Kurt Angle, or they could bring Funaki in or some Japanese guys.
You need a good combination of shooters and hardcore wrestlers. I think that's the big thing. Like Schlack and Super Demon or Super Beast, whatever, are both like hardcore wrestlers. They're not like shooters. And you need the combination of both. You need a couple of guys who are shooters, and you need to have shooters versus hardcore wrestlers. Because it's blood sport. It's blood sport. You have the sport part, and you also need the blood part. You need to have some fucking guys come in from CZW. You need to get some. You need to throw Nick Gage in there once or twice. Just to say fuck it, right? Because these guys got to come in, and they can.
Before we go into SmackDown, I'm just gonna go pee. I'll be back. So.
Okay, go ahead. Oh. Hey, Bronx Beats. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna fucking stop talking and let them cut us off. We've got a ton of shows to get through, man. I don't have time to read the chat today. I'm not trying to be a dick with anyone here. If you guys want to talk to us, I get it. It's a fucking live show, but I'm sorry. We have a fucking ton to talk about with this WrestleMania stuff, and we're gonna have a ton to talk about Sunday night too. When we watch 2 nights of WrestleMania, it's gonna be a fucking long show then too. 116 minutes, dude. We're going 2 hours, bitch. Remember when Barnett got so worked by Jay White? I do remember that. That was fucking funny. They should have Jay White versus Barnett. Why the fuck not? They should put Jay White in there. Suzuki was perfect in Bloodsport. He was so fucking good. Oh my god. Anyone who hasn't watched the first Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, it's a must-watch wrestling show. Perhaps the greatest wrestling show of all time, actually. 100% watch it. If it's ever in your area, you see Bloodsport available to go to live, go to it. You ever go to WrestleMania? Anyone go to Dallas WrestleMania? Top 5 heels of all time. Fuck. Let's see. Heel Macho Man, I would say, is one of my favorites. Ric Flair, Bobby Heenan, Carl Anderson in New Japan. Fuck it, I like him there. And 5. Fuck it. Jesse Ventura. Yeah, that's my top 5. Macho Man, Ric Flair. We're doing SmackDown. We're doing that. That's what we do the show for, man. And I'm not gonna watch Tokyo Joshi Pro's fucking show. Fuck you.
Oh yeah.
We're back. We did a little Q&A there while you were gone.
Oh
bro,
yeah.
Bro, you see, I'm gonna have to turn away for WrestleMania tomorrow. My fucking SCSU team, my fucking college team is in the finals for the NCAA tournament, bro. Hockey.
So you're not gonna be watching the WrestleMania then?
I'm gonna watch WrestleMania, but I'm like halfway through the tournament. I'm gonna watch that and the hockey game because fuck.
Oh fuck.
It's the NCAA.
Well, I'm lucky because I'm watching the UFC. They put the UFC on in the afternoon, like in the morning and the afternoon.
Oh, there you go.
So it's not on at the same time as WrestleMania because I was worried about that because I usually gamble on the UFC. But yeah, it's worked out for me where I can watch both, which is based. Okay, let's get into it. So overall thoughts on Bloodsport, we'll finish it up. I thought it was a good show. I gave it like an 8 out of 10 as a show.
I thought it was the best overall show of the weekend so far, actually. Like, it didn't have the best match of the weekend, but it's like, from the shows I've watched so far, it's been like my favorite thing I've watched from top to bottom.
Well, it was the most consistently watchable and entertaining thing. There wasn't a match, even the second women's match, it was short at least. It didn't go 20 minutes. This is the thing is like, I think shorter really works in a lot of situations.
Shorter works, especially. I mean, you can do long matches with crowds. I think it's a big thing. It's like they don't have without a big crowd. It's hard to do a long match. It just really is because you need the energy of the crowd to keep you going mentally, even when watching it. And with these small crowds, you're not gonna get anything. You're gonna get jack shit.
All right, so let's go into SmackDown this week, which I think is the last show we're going to cover.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything else. I'm going to watch Spring Break tomorrow, but I didn't watch it today. But that's the only thing I'm going to watch, honestly. I don't even know if Spring Break doesn't even look good this year, but I have watched it every year, so fuck it.
I just don't know. Like, all the shit from, like, the Collective pack looks like fucking crap. I don't think I'm going to watch any of it.
No, Collective was kind of fucked this year. I mean, it was the only thing going Mania weekend, though. It's the only thing that was running. But I mean, I've watched Spring Break every year since it came out. I've watched Bloodsport every year since they started doing it. So I'll watch it again. So that's just a fair thing.
Yeah.
SmackDown didn't feel like SmackDown felt like the fucking WrestleMania pre-show. Frankly, like it was not a great SmackDown. I'm just gonna say it straight up. It felt like I was watching a pre-show. It was
It was
pre-show
the pre-show,
on
but
TV.
there were 3 good promos on the show.
There were some great promos. Yeah.
So we had Brian's part the show. We're getting Brian's perspective on things.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. He was getting intense. He was getting fired up. Decent facials. Good intensity in his eyes. It wasn't as good, I didn't think, as Edge's promo,
Mm-hmm.
but it was good enough. It's a big improvement over Brian when he first came to WWE. His promos were I felt, stilted and kind of stiff. Here he's finally really coming into his own as a promo. Not to say he's the best promo out there, but it was a pretty coherent promo,
He's
and
been
it
he's been
worked for him.
he's been pretty good on promos for a while now. But like I mean, he's one of their top guys. I mean, what can you say? He should be good at promos, and he's been good at promos since I think right before he started Mania. He did the main event of Mania. I thought he was good around then. When he first came in, I agree, but since then, I mean, he's gotten a lot better, and
He
fun.
had that Planet's Champion run as the
That was brilliant.
heel that I thought he was good. He can easily win that match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I believe that he could win.
We won't go into too much predictions here because we'll probably do that after we talk about SmackDown because I do have some predictions for the show. But,
okay.
Let's see. We got the Fatal 4-Way SmackDown tag match. This would have been on the pre-show, I'm guessing, for Mania.
I'm glad it's not.
No, it was kind of bad. Ziggler and Rude won. And I can't believe, I'm happy that they've condensed the showdown, but I still can't believe Rey Mysterio isn't on the WrestleMania card. Like he's probably the biggest star out of anyone. He would have been if he was on the show. He would have been the biggest star on the show, realistically.
I'm just surprised. I mean, there's a lot of different guys you could have plugged him in with, right?
So I don't know. And even like I get like condensing the show to make it just about your main storylines and feuds. That makes sense, and you should do that. But like maybe don't have 2 women's tag team matches on both shows. Don't have one on both shows. Don't have a gauntlet match and then the fucking thing. How about you don't do that? How about you do the gauntlet match on fucking Raw and just have one team?
This whole fucking bullshit of this, fatal 4-way match is to make sure as many people as possible get on WrestleMania. But since it's no longer on WrestleMania, what is the point of this fatal 4-way?
That's a good question. It's a very good question, PPP. It's a very good question.
I would have just sooner seen maybe Ziggler and Bobby Roode against Rey and Dominic and had them win the tag belts. I don't know why they're not putting the tag belts on Rey and Dominic. That doesn't make sense to me. They should win the tag belts at WrestleMania.
They should.
In front of a live crowd. That would make sense, right?
Yeah, father-son would be a good storyline. Maybe exciting. Maybe instead of having the women's tag team gauntlet or tag turmoil match, the first thing they could have had this match.
I didn't realize that Chad Gable still had a job either. Did you?
Yeah, I didn't. You never see this guy, but the thing is, I've always liked Chad Gable. He's like a Olympic wrestler kind of guy. I've always liked the guy. He's one of my boys. He's from Minnesota. I got to root for the boy.
Yeah.
Him and Lesnar.
Yeah, I don't know. Rey Mysterio could have been put into that Cesaro and Rollins match as a triple threat.
Well, I think the idea was to give Cesaro a singles match, finally. They've been pushing that the whole night. So I get, like I said, cut the women's tag team turmoil match from night 1 and throw this SmackDown tag team match and have Rey and Dominic win instead. Why not do that? Please. I'm begging you. Do that.
It was competent.
Which is there. Fucking wasn't that good. Next.
Shame that Bobby Roode, all he's been able to do is have a few tag title runs.
He did his NXT title run, but that was it.
I guess, but fuck. Bianca Belair cut a promo. It wasn't that great.
No, she looks like she looks retarded.
Yeah.
She looks awful.
The EST, I don't know. She really tries hard to do the Muhammad Ali type rhyming promos, but it's the same every time. It's not like she's actually coming up with stuff off the top of her head. She's rattling off the same catchphrase, and it's just not. It's not that amazing. She's not The Rock or anything.
She doesn't have the natural charisma. The problem I have is her face is weird, and her hairdo she does is weird.
Her hair looks fucked.
The weird she's got it's pulled back, she's got little curly cues too. It's I don't know.
Yeah, we had a Big E segment.
I like this. Did like this
This
one.
was good. I don't
I'm
know.
excited for this match. Actually, I think Big E's a good promo. He says he's gonna fucking kill Apollo. I think he said something like that. He's like, I'm gonna kill you at WrestleMania, Apollo. It's
No, I'm fired up for this Nog Giganig match
it's gonna be
between Big E and Apollo. It's going to be based.
it's gonna be base until it's not.
Yeah, it might be shit, but I think
Tamina versus Nia Jax. Now this is wrestling. This is what you want, bitch. You want Tamina versus Nia Jax.
It ends in a DQ. Ends in a DQ.
Fuck. Like these two of the worst women on the roster. They can interchange between them. Fucking oh my god, this is bad.
Oh. It was shit. The less sad about it, the better. There was
move on, fuck it.
Riot Squad and Billy Kay.
Oh, it's a Riot Squad with a fucking bad bitch. It's the fucking Ruby Rito with her fucking huge honking beak. What a cum slut.
So there was a commercial for Seth Rollins that was paid for by the friends of Seth Rollins. I thought it was pretty funny.
It was funny. I like this. See, there's like a variety of comedy on the show that is actually quite good. Like, and SmackDown's a quality show most weeks, honestly, because of stuff like this. And then the Edge promo came up. This was really good. This is really fucking great. Like, I mean, like, just the intensity, the realism. He's turned heel, but he's like a believable, like, I'm the radar superstar. I'm gonna win no matter what it takes. It's like, he's like a heel you get a root
for. He's not like a cartoon villain heel. This is like a tweener Edge where he's like, this is what I've earned. I'm the top guy. He starts off with saying, what he dreams about, what he believes in he can manifest. And then he tied it back into, from the beginning to the end. So the promo did have, a focus to it. There was real intensity in his eyes.
Yeah, and there was some good heat where like he like buried like normal people for not being able to realize what he can, which is true. That is true that normal people can't achieve the level of success he can because they don't get it because they're like not capable of it. But still, it's a good way to. It was good heel stuff too. It was both heelish, facious, but like not in a bad way, like in like a I'm compelled and I want to watch this match way. This is the true. This is the main event. This is the main event of Mania, so it should have this level of build, and it does. It's the only thing that feels like a Mania match, actually. Really,
it's the only chance WWE has to get match of the weekend, in my opinion. Is this match, and they still have they have a bit of a chance at it, but it looks like Walter kind of sealed it up with Ciampa. But maybe it depends what story they tell in the ring, and
depends on how good. If the crowd is great at Mania, even if the work isn't as good as Walter, maybe the atmosphere will make it better. It might be enough to put it over the edge. You're gonna have like 40,000 fans there or something. I don't know. It's not gonna be a ton, but it's gonna be a lot more than anyone else has had in like a year. So that could really put this match over the edge and make it a great main event. And make it better than the match. And that's enough. That's really enough. The crowd is really all it takes. But
yeah,
so that was good. And then the Sami Zayn, the Logan Paul and Jake Paul gym. I'm actually quite excited for this Sami Zayn Kevin Owens with Logan Paul match. It might be the match. I mean, I'm looking forward to. I think it's a Mania match. The serious match is the Edge match, but this is the one that I'm looking forward to the most because I'm almost positive with every fiber of my being that Logan Paul is going off the pirate ship. He's going to get thrown off that pirate ship, and he's going to fall and take a terrible pratfall in some way. He's going to get seriously hurt, and it's going to be excellent.
Somebody's got to go off the fucking pirate ship. If nobody goes off the pirate ship after having WrestleMania in Tampa 2 years in a row, what the fuck?
What's even going on? But no, I believe in all my heart of hearts that Logan Paul will go off that pirate ship. I think it should be Logan Paul. He should fall in a crash mat so he's safe. But Logan Paul should suffer physically for what he has done as a human being. I think people want to see that. I think people will rejoice. They will see that match. That moment will be replayed forever and ever. It will be etched into the annals of history as a great moment in human history. When we punish Logan Paul.
I know. I still won't be surprised to see Shane go off of it somehow.
I'm okay with Shane, but I think Shane won't go off it. I think they're going to give it to Logan. I think Logan's crazy enough to do it too. I think he's the kind of guy that like gets what people want to see him for. They want to see him get beat up. I mean, those boxing pay-per-view numbers are entirely from people wanting to see the Pauls get beat up, right? I mean, that's not just me, but
what did we have? Fucking
the lineup. Then after that was just the fucking like the lineup.
It was like packages, and then it went to the Battle Royal, didn't it?
And then the Battle Royal, which Jey Uso won. It felt like a pre-show WrestleMania match, but was actually the main event of a SmackDown. And the quality just felt weird. It felt like I was watching like the beginning of Mania or something. It wasn't that great. Jey Uso won though, which I guess feeds into the storyline of the main event, and it led to the Roman Reigns promo, which I did like. I did like that they tied it all together. It was one cohesive segment. That was nice.
Yeah,
that was good. And Roman Reigns closed the show as he should because he is the big dog in the big yard with his big belt, his big baby blue belt.
Yeah, the belt is a little bit silly looking with the blue strap, isn't it?
It's a little bit shit. It's a little shit, but what can you do?
I guess it's better than the New Japan title, though.
I would agree.
That's like the New Japan belt's like the Divas belt now.
It is.
But yeah, Roman killed it. Great fucking promo. Roman just had like a very, reality based approach to his promo. He was telling it how it is, and it was good. It was a good fucking promo.
You just couldn't take it from me. I took it, and you can't take stuff from me. He's the big dog. He's elevated everyone. He's elevated everyone in the company up to his level. He elevated Jey Uso. He's gonna elevate Daniel Bryan again because no one can match his level, but he can bring him close.
It's a good promo. So I'm excited for the promos. I'm excited because of the promos for the main event on night 2. Outside of that, this show was kind of a useless waste. It was just like.
Yeah, it was kind of there. Nothing much
happened. It was like a pre-show, and I don't know what is the pre-show going to be for fucking WrestleMania tomorrow.
There's no pre-show.
There's no pre-show.
They can't do it. They're not doing any kind of pre-show because I think they want to make sure that the time in the building is as small as possible.
I gotta fucking say about NXT TakeOver. Holy fuck, the pre-show for NXT TakeOver is so fucking bad. Have you fucking seen it?
No.
With that Sam Roberts or whatever the fuck his name is, the balding fucking retarded mongoloid with the fucking voice?
No, I didn't see that. I skipped that.
Have you seen that guy before?
Yeah, I've seen Sam Roberts before. He sucks.
Oh, it's fucking bad, man. I couldn't listen to this shit. I wanted to watch the pre-show. I had nothing else to watch. I couldn't do it. I fucking had to stop after 10 minutes. I was going to fucking kill somebody. He's so gay. He's such a faggot. And he's terrible.
He is.
God help us.
He's the worst shit.
How did he get a job?
Money.
He's just stalking off Vince McMahon? Is he performing sexual favors for Hunter?
I think he was like a famous radio DJ from somewhere. Like, wasn't he part of like the?
I know he was part of some gay Opie Anthony faggoty fucking boomer talk show that I don't give a fuck about.
But now he's.
What was he from?
He was on wrestling. I'm pretty. Now he's here. I don't know. I think he was on Opie and Anthony. Yeah, I think he was like part of their crew or whatever.
The Masters is the subhuman with an afro. Very subhuman. Very troglodyte. Fucking should live in a fucking cave, far away from other human beings. Should be forced to live in the wilderness, ostracized from everyone else. He's that fucking dreadful. Shameful. God, if I could, I'd fucking kill him with a hammer.
Me too. But we can't. So we just have to not watch the pre-show.
No. They need to reclaim the NXT pre-show for the glory of God.
They do. So yeah, that was SmackDown. We got WrestleMania fucking tomorrow and Sunday. I don't know. You got predictions? You got predictions of what the cards? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna be the?
Let's do some quick predictions on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at night 1. I'm gonna say in the first match, Drew McIntyre will defeat Bobby Lashley. Fucking embarrassing that this is the first match. But I will say they are going to be the first allowed to work in front of the crowd after all this time. So it is kind of almost more of a prestigious position. In this one-time instance, to go first, than to go last on night one. Because to go first on night one, you actually are the first people wrestling in front of a crowd. To be the main event on night one, you're not really the real main event because the real main event's the main event of night two. You know what I mean? So it's okay, but I can't really.
The most important matches on any show are the first and the last match. Those are the two that matter the most, really.
Yeah, I think it'll set the tone right. It'll be I don't know what else would have been a good opener for it. Maybe Cesaro and Rollins.
That might have been
maybe would have been the more traditional opener,
right?
And the WWE final match.
This is not a traditional show though. It's like the first match with the crowd in fucking forever. So they're gonna give it socks. Let them start with the world title match. I think McIntyre. My pick is McIntyre.
I can't see how McIntyre doesn't win.
Me neither.
In the second match, I have. So this is a match I'm not sure. Is it Bad Bunny versus The Miz in a singles match, or is it Bad Bunny?
They changed it this week on Raw. Remember, they changed it to Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in a tag match versus The Miz and John Morrison, which will be a better match. That's a better idea. I thought that's what they should have done. I know when they advertised that first match to begin with. I thought it should have always been a tag match.
I think Bad Bunny and Damian.
Bad Bunny will pin The Miz after some. I think that's how it's going to happen. The Miz will take the pin, but it won't matter because it's for a celebrity angle, and Damian Priest is going to do some kind of move. It means it's some kind of retarded finish, but Bad Bunny will get his victory. He will win.
Yeah. Not a bad spot for Miz on the card, really. He's in there with the celebrity.
No, it's fine. It's a Roddy Piper spot. New Day versus
New Day.
AJ and Omos.
AJ and Omos should win.
Yeah.
God have mercy if the New Day wins. I can see them fucking doing it. But God help them. I think it's AJ Styles and Omos win over the New Day. Right?
It has to be. Braun versus
Strowman and Shane.
I got Braun. Winning this one.
I got Shane winning through Braun throwing him through the cage.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I think will happen.
Cesaro versus
Cesaro should win.
I got Seth. I think Seth.
They might just have. They might just have Seth win just to shit all over everyone.
Yeah.
This is going to be Shane wins, Bad Bunny wins, New Day wins, and Rollins wins, and just everybody's bum hurt. And Sasha will win too.
No.
Watch.
This tag team tournament match. Well, I don't know. Cut this out of the show, please.
Couldn't we just say one of these people is the number one contender, or do this match on Raw or SmackDown? This should have been swapped with the tag team match.
That's what I said. SmackDown. They should have done that. That would have made more sense. And then you have the title match on the next show, and you have the SmackDown title match, and you just have Rey and Dominic win for a feel-good moment, have a pretty quick match. You don't have the father and son get crowned.
So
WrestleMania moment, father and son tag team win.
It Lana and Naomi are winning? Lana and Naomi, is that the team?
I've got Riot Squad winning because fuck it.
Okay. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. I've been going back and forth on this now because I thought initially, Bianca's going to win and get coronated, but Sasha's like 0-5 at WrestleMania. Are they going to have her go 0-6? Sasha's ego going to be able to handle that?
No.
So Sasha might go over.
Sasha might win, yeah.
I don't care who fucking wins this match. I'm not going to be bumhurt either way. These women are pretty much functionally identical to me. They're basically the same thing.
I don't like them. And they suck. I also don't care about the women's division. I'm not even sure if I'll watch this match. I might even tune out for the main event. I don't know. It might be tough for me to stick around. I'll see how the show's going.
I'm going to be real high. I'm going to eat my fucking Easter egg edible and get really high.
Yeah.
And, because I don't have to review it after. So that's night one. Night one is going to be the weaker night, isn't it? By far.
It's going to suck bad, actually. I think the Bad Bunny match and the Strowman Shady match are the ones that are the ones that might.
They're going to be fucking stinkers, aren't they? Just shit.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
the women's, so there's like 3 guaranteed shithole basically matches, right?
Well, the New Day match, the tag title match, the women's main event, and I would say maybe I don't know. I think the Bad Bunny they usually do celebrity matches are usually pretty fun in WWE. They usually do them all right. They usually
As long as they book it, they plan it out, and they don't just try and have them go out there and wing it. They've been practicing; it'll be fine.
I think that one will probably be one of the standout matches, honestly.
Oh
Um,
God,
which sucks because
Lashley and McIntyre like as the opening match. I'm worried that it's only going to get 5 minutes.
we'll see. Maybe it'll be me
I,
Paul booking, and I'll be like Goldberg Lesnar.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like the last year match between McIntyre and Lesnar wasn't as good as Goldberg and Lesnar. Do you know what I mean?
No, it
It
wasn't.
was, and that's I think it'll be very similar quality to that. And I don't know. These guys going on last and going 20 minutes would have been great, but that's not
Instead, we've got Sasha Banks and Bianca.
fucking.
Next, Asuka Night 2, April 11th. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Don't care. Asuka wins.
Asuka. I
Asuka
mean, Rhea
wins.
Ripley should go over. I think maybe, but
I'm gonna go Asuka because Rhea Ripley looks like a dyke.
yeah, Asuka's gonna win. I mean, if the time for Rhea to win last year and Charlotte for the NXT title, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but she didn't do that.
It's fucking retarded. Anyway, it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. The Fiend versus Randy Orton.
Oh, I think the Fiend will win because and it'll be some. I hope it's a cinematic match, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a live match and it'll be terrible.
What happens if Orton wins again?
It's over. Kill the Fiend character.
I'm not going to be surprised if they do that. You think that with the booking of the Fiend, like there's like certain slam dunk decisions. Like you would think, like having him beat Goldberg, maybe, or just not have him wrestle Goldberg. Like with Bray Wyatt, like in the past, having him beat Randy Orton would have been good at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and they didn't do that. So I struggle to pick the Fiend, but I have to. The Fiend has to win this match. If he loses this match to Orton, it's really bad for him. It's really bad.
Wait, I know what's going to happen, PPP. We're forgetting the third element. I think Alexa Bliss will win this match.
No.
Yes, Blissfag will raise up. I know. I haven't seen Blissfag in days. He must be traveling down to WrestleMania right now to win the match for Alexa Bliss.
Imagine if Blissfag fucking interfered to fuck the fuck the finish. He fucks Orton.
Oh, that'd be so based. It'd be so awesome. My storyline is finally paid off. They've been in contact with me this whole time, PPP. I'm the man behind Vince.
Oh fuck. So yeah, that match I don't know. If it's in the ring, it's gonna be terrible. If it's a Firefly match, it's gonna be awesome.
Big E versus Apollo Crews Nigerian drum fight. I think Apollo has to win this, doesn't he?
He has to win. Apollo, if he doesn't win, I mean, they may as well release Apollo.
Might as well.
It's now or never for Apollo for me.
Mm-hmm.
They've had him around for like 7 years, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this match. This is one of the matches I'm excited for most of all the matches. It might actually be the match I'm most excited for.
I think you're right.
Which is pretty sad.
Well, the match I'm most excited for is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn with Logan Paul. And I think Kevin's going to win because he should, because Sami Zayn's a jobber. But I also think it'll be a very good match, like wrestling-wise, and I think Logan Paul's going to do something funny. So that'll be good.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is going to win. I'd like to see Zayn win. Riddle and Sheamus.
I think Sheamus wins. I think Sheamus wins.
Sheamus wins. Riddle he's finished.
He's over.
His career. The tag team titles.
I don't care, but I think
Lana and Naomi are going to take the titles home.
I think Nia and Shayna will lose because I think Shayna's going to challenge for the title next because she did pin Asuka on Raw. So I think they're going to use that as an excuse to get in the title picture with the women's match after the Mania. Makes sense to me. I don't know, but that's just I'm stupid. Roman versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. Who do you got, man?
I got Reigns to retain the belt.
I have. It's tough because I think I have to go with Edge pinning Daniel Bryan. Edge is going to pin Daniel Bryan and win.
Yeah. Bryan could win the match, but how is he going to get Edge to tap?
If he taps Roman, it's a disaster. I think either Roman wins.
They might just do that. That's probably how Bryan wins the belt, is just by flat out tapping out Reigns. And, Vince just decides, you know what, this makes sense. Like 7 years too late to have Bryan go over Reigns at the main event of WrestleMania. Oh, this makes sense. Fuck. No. I'm going to be pissed if that happens. I'm going to fucking lose my shit. I'm going to be angry.
Well, you get ready to get angry because it's going to happen.
Well, any result other than Roman Reigns leaving with the belt is going to leave me pissed off the night of. I will accept in hindsight anyone winning this match. I do like all three guys. It's just I think that it's Roman's time. And I think it's not Edge's time. Edge is done.
Edge is done. I don't know. I just had this feeling. I don't know. But when I saw Daniel Bryan, I thought for sure Roman was going to win. But then they add Bryan to the match. It's such an easy out to have Roman not get pinned or submitted. I think either Roman wins or he doesn't lose. I think those are the two options here. I don't think anyone's going to pin or submit Roman. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But I'm not a smart man.
Yeah, we'll see. The match should be pretty good. It might go too long. It might become boring. It might have a fucked up finish. But as it stands on paper, it's probably the best match we're going to see.
At least the story's interesting. So what can you do?
Yeah. This is WrestleMania this year.
Yep. Kind of not.
Are you feeling more excited for it after this week than you were on Sunday?
A little bit. I mean, kind of watching Bloodsport made me feel like I'm at WrestleMania week again. I'm playing out my trip to Dallas next year already with some of my friends, so that's gonna be nice. Going to fucking Mania there. That's gonna be nice. But
I'm getting more excited for it. I'm starting to feel that it's WrestleMania. I've been watching a lot of shows. I've been watching, backlog WrestleManias, WrestleMania 23, and some other shows on the network, and I'm trying to get into it. But it's just I know that the WrestleMania that awaits me is not going to be worthy of WrestleMania. And no matter how hyped up I get for it, and the more excited I get, probably the more disappointing it's going to be.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I relaunched the board. I relaunched my wrestling site on TV Chan. I don't know if anyone's still in the chat. I don't know if we lost everyone. I was going to announce at the beginning of the show, but I fucking forgot. I relaunched Woo. So if you want to talk about WrestleMania, I'll be.
Why did you get rid of it in the first place, Mike?
I didn't. I just wasn't running it. My friend from Australia was running it, but then he got arrested, so he can't run the board anymore. So it's mine now. So I'm running it.
Everyone around Gahul gets arrested. They're all in jail. Kitty diddlers to do. Oh
no,
shit!
He got caught on for smoking weed. Like he got in a city drug charge, so he got fucked.
What a loser! What a loser!
It was
Imagine getting busted for weed.
Yeah, it was the original truth seeker, the OG man himself. He got busted.
No.
Yeah.
What a disaster. That's such bullshit.
It is bullshit. But yeah, no, I'm restarting Woo, so I'll be posting shit there all week. I'll be live posting WrestleMania tomorrow, so if anyone wants to watch it with me, I'll be posting there. I don't know if I'll do a live reaction stream or anything. I probably won't, but we'll have stream links there to watch it there and stuff. So if you want to watch it, come to TV Chan, Moe/Woo. We'll be there. It'll be excellent. There's my plug for the show. I plugged my site, so I hope you watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's, I think, the end of this special edition. I don't know if we're going to have a show tomorrow night. I doubt it.
Depends. If the show is like the absolute shit and I need to rant, I may go and you can come with, but I might even do a solo show if it's like that bad, if you don't feel up to it. But
yeah, I'll see what happens. I plan on eating an edible around 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be pretty high for like the subsequent 6 hours. But I should be coming down off the high, and then I can slam a few energy drinks, which I'm sure is good for my heart. Uh, and then I can maybe come on the air and do a show. But if not, it'll be Sunday for sure after WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's what we're gonna have to do. I mean, depends. If the show is just mediocre tomorrow and just kind of like a nothing, I'm not gonna come on here and talk about how nothing it was. That sounds boring. But if it's a fucking shit show, then I'm gonna come on here and like bitch about how much of a shit show it is. You know, I just have to. Like if Sasha Banks like falls off and her wig falls off in the main event or something, I'm gonna laugh my ass off at that.
No, what I want to have happen is Miz to bring back the Money in the Bank briefcase and lose it to Bad Bunny, who then cashes in to win the title.
Yes, yes. Bad Bunny world champion, the most shirts sold. Bobby Lashley can go suck a dick.
Bad Bunny comes in and pins Roman Reigns clean. That's it.
That's the Kino. That's the Kino incoming. En la Bocoti. Ese Corona Cerveza. Where's the Raiders?
Cerveza. Where's the Raiders?
Hey, say you like the Raiders, ese cabron. Hey, I'm Bad Bunny. Oh, hey, hey, ho, ho. I like this song. That's the future, bro.
Oh, man.
Bad Bunny.
It's so bright, pal. So bright and vibrant.
But yeah, so anyone in the chat who wants to talk wrestling with me, I'll be on the Woo board all yesterday. I'll be live posting WrestleMania. So, the live coverage, brother. What can you do? I don't know, fuck it. And any closing remarks, closing statements here, PPP? This excellent WrestleMania week?
I don't know. So far, WrestleMania week has been pretty underwhelming. The Hall of Fame, I thought, wasn't very good. I thought Takeover wasn't very good, aside from maybe like one match.
This might be the worst Takeover WrestleMania weekend. So if you just count the second night as Takeover, it's the worst Takeover like probably ever.
I mean, if you just count Walter matches and the two matches on Blood Sports, the main event and the Super Beast against Shellac or whatever the fuck his name is, it was an amazing week. But you know, if you watched all the other fucking bullshit, you basically wasted your time. I watched everything this week, and if you haven't and you're like, oh, I gotta catch up and I gotta see this stuff, just don't waste your time. Just watch the Walter match from Takeover from the UK show. Watch that Walter match. Watch the Dragunov match with the time you'll save, and avoid the takeovers. Outside of that, don't watch SmackDown. Don't waste your fucking time. You probably already did if you watched it.
I would watch Bloodsport. I'd recommend Bloodsport as a full watch. It's a whole show.
Watch Bloodsport. Watch Bloodsport. It's a good show.
It was a good show. If you're gonna watch anything this weekend before WrestleMania besides Mania, watch Bloodsport. But you know, if you're gonna watch Mania, just watch Mania because you'll be fucked, dude. It's 8 hours of wrestling today and tomorrow, man. You're gonna get fucked.
But there's no indie shows. There's no indie shows at all, really, is there?
There was Bloodsport and Spring Break tonight, and that was it.
Fuck.
Well, I don't think all the international indies just didn't run. Most of the indies just didn't run a show because they just don't feel like it. Because it's like, why the fuck would I run a show when I can't get any guys and the town's not gonna be even that full of wrestling fans? So it's like, why even bother? Indie shows will be back next year. That's what I'm hoping. Is indie shows will be back for Dallas. That's why I'm going to Dallas. Anyone who's coming to Dallas, let me know. I'll be around. You know, fucking gonna go hang out with my friends. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll close it off here then.
Yep.
Cheers.
See ya.